That's my girl.
In the 91-year history of Wrigley Field, countless Hall of Famers have made the long walk from the visiting clubhouse to the field. Today, the Cardinals will make the trek for the 860th time in their storied history. It's game number 2 of this 4-game set. Big crowd on hand at the friendly confines of Wrigley. Cardinal baseball, Cubs and Cardinals coming up next on FSN Midwest. Cardinal baseball on FSN Midwest, game number 2 of this 4-game set from historic Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. It's the home of the Chicago Cubs, a team that has struggled in 2005. They didn't struggle, though, in game number 1 behind Greg Maddux. He was outstanding. Sold-out crowd this afternoon, as you might expect. It's been sold out for months, and with my partner Al Brabowski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to the broadcast booth here at Wrigley. You're going to have a chance to go down on the field. We're going to make you hustle. You're going to get a good lather going. You're going to go visit with Greg Maddux, but he truly was the story in game 1. He was terrific.
Yeah, he really was. He in the first inning had a little trouble. The ball was in the middle of the plate. Albert jumped on him for a 2-run home run, but once he settled down, he was vintage Maddux and completed that ball game 106, and he stopped that 8-game losing streak.
Well, let's talk about today. You turn the page of the St. Louis Cardinals. They still lead Chicago by 18 games in the Central Division, but Chicago is vying for a wild card spot. It will be Jason Marquis on the mound for St. Louis, and for the Chicago Cubs, it's Carlos Zambrano.
And Zambrano is a handful. There you see the splitter grip, but he's got a great fastball, explosive fastball. But there's the splitter once again. He's got all the pitches. It's just a question, will he contain his emotions? But I think that's a plus. He gets so excited and comes out there. He's only 23, 24 years of age. Very, very talented and has the best stuff on their staff.
I know you love the emotions, but a couple of times this season for the Cubs, it's not been in their favor when he's gotten too emotional.
Yeah, it's something he needs to temper. But I think it's easier to temper it, but you don't want to do too much because that's a great, great force. And, I mean, when he throws as hard as he does, he can intimidate people, he can scare people. He's effectively wild.
Tale of 2 stories for Jason Marquis in his last start over the weekend against Atlanta. First 4 innings, he was unbelievable.
Perfect.
He was perfect. Hadn't walked anybody, hadn't allowed a hit. All of a sudden, the wheels came off. So which guy are we going to see today?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you can almost look at the last 10 starts. He's only won 1 time. He's got a 4-game losing streak. There have been times where he's pitched well, but he just needs to go out there. The good thing, this is Good Luck Friday. We're 15-3 on Friday.
I didn't, you know what?
3-10 on Thursday.
Watch my microphone. You're getting too excited up here.
3-10 on Thursdays, 15-3 on Fridays, and this is Friday, so look out.
All right, Jason Marquis will go for the St. Louis Cardinals. Whatever you said, I agree with Al. And Carlos Zambrano will go for the Chicago Cubs. A chance to bounce back here in game number 2, and it's always fun when these 2 teams hook up. Albert Pujols is a guy that we need to talk about as well, because here at Wrigley Field, this guy has been on a tear in 33 games. In particular, Al, not so much in the average. It's 283. That's well below his career mark, but it's the power numbers that stand out.
Well, you know, he can be a difference maker. He steps in the batter's box, and he can, you know, you feel like he's going to score a run. You know, he's scored more runs than anybody in the major leagues this year. He's 1 run away from the century mark this season, and 1 more run will give him 600 in his career.
All right, hustle. Put it down. Get that down, get the earpiece out, hustle down on the field, and go visit with Greg Maddux. There goes Al. He's off to the races here at Wrigley Field, and that man will be his guest coming up next. It's our segment number 2 of our pregame. Extended pregame here from Wrigley. Al, with the future Hall of Famer, is coming up next.
Check this out. Burger King's Tender Crisp Chicken Sandwich has more fat than their Whopper, more fat than their large fries, more fat than almost anything else they sell.
That's why I like Subway restaurants. Their sandwiches are made fresh right in front of you. Like this tasty oven-roasted chicken breast sub with 5 grams of fat. Subway, eat fresh.
If you're looking for answers from an auto parts store, get ready. Advance Auto Parts is working harder to help you save money by doing it yourself. Get ready for certified experts who are ready to help. Get ready for answers on any project you can easily understand. Get ready for in-depth information from Advanced TV, our exclusive in-store how-to network. Get ready to go from no way to know how. For all the advice you'll ever need, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance.
Hey, it's just free checking. It's got a free Platinum Visa check card. And that comes with free Regents rewards from Visa Extras. And that can earn you free luggage, free shopping, or even a free ticket to paradise. Hey, wait a minute. That's not just free checking.
I think we're overdressed.
That's Regents pre-checking. And that's what gives 5 million customers everyday confidence.
Why should you go to Auto Tires?
Because of our people. Our managers have been with us for a long time. Many of our customers have worked with the same team for years. It's important to know the people you trust your car to.
Or the people you know and trust.
You ought to go to Auto Tire.
The battle continues on the Poker Superstars 2. As the stakes get higher, the competition becomes more intense. The world's best continue their run through the elimination rounds as they close in on a purse worth over $1.2 million. The fight for the final 16 rolls on. The Poker Superstars 2 continues Sunday on FSN.
Now, there's a place where college never ends. Fox College Sports, the new network that brings you nearly 150 games from conferences like the Pac-10, Big 12, and more. Plus local coaches shows and news from around the country. This is the network college football fans always dreamed of. To order Fox College Sports, call 1-877-2-GET-FCS.
You're watching Fox Sportsnet.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. It's a pleasure to sit alongside a future Hall of Famer, Greg Maddux, still having fun playing this game.
Oh yeah, I love it. You know, it's a beautiful game, isn't it? I mean, it's fun to play, it's fun to watch, and you know, it's always nice to come to the ballpark.
You know, what does it mean to you when you look at what you've accomplished in this game?
Well, it means I've played for a while, really. I think that's what it means the most to me. But you know, I always look at what this game gives me, and you know, I mean, I've gotten a lot out of this game. You know, got a great job, enjoy coming to work every day. You know, pay me good. You know, play a lot of golf all over the country, and meet a lot of people, and you know, people treat you nice because you can throw a strike.
And you can throw a strike. That's the one thing. Only the second pitcher in Major League history to have 3,000 strikeouts and less than, and in your case, less than 900 walks.
Well, thank you. You know, I've always learned that you got to make them earn it. You know what I mean? You can't, no free passes. It's okay to get hit, but it's not okay to beat yourself. And a lot of times when you walk too many guys, it can lead to beating yourself.
When you went past the 3,000 strikeouts, you kind of said you did it by accident. And I remember Dick Pohl telling me he had you in the early minor leagues, and he said he started getting you to forget about strikeouts, concentrate on getting people out the first couple pitches, and the strikeouts still will come.
Yeah, and he was right. He was right on the money. You know, I think a lot of times, you know, you find yourself ahead 0-2, and all of a sudden before you look, it's 2-2 because you try to strike somebody out. You throw your fastball a little higher than you should throw it, or, you know, throw your curveball lower than you should throw it, and all of a sudden it's 2-2, and now you got to make a pitch 2-2, and, you know, it's a lot easier to just go ahead and try to make that pitch 0-2 or 1-2.
Anybody sees you in street clothes, you know, you look more like a CPA, but yet there's a, you know, kind of a killer instinct in you. Yesterday's ball game, Dusty Baker came out to take you out of the game, and you said, no, I want to finish it.
Well, I didn't really say no. I just said, I think I can get a ground ball. You know, I'm never going to tell anybody how to manage, but you know, I felt like, you know what, we got a 6-run lead. I can throw the ball over the plate, maybe get a ground ball, and, you know, try to get out of here.
And the one thing, too, in today's game where you see a lot of pitchers who are almost content to go 6 innings, you picked up your 106th career game yesterday. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means, you know, I'm kind of proud of that. You know, it's always nice to finish what you start, but it's also important to make sure that you do what you can to put your team in position to win. And, you know, sometimes that means, you know, you face those guys the third, fourth time around the lineup. You know, it might be a little bit harder for them to get a hit off somebody in the bullpen. But, you know, yesterday we had a big lead, and, you know, as a starting pitcher, I think that's when you should pitch the extra inning or two, is when you do have that big lead, because, you know, who knows what's going to happen over the next 5 or 6 days. You know, those guys might get used every day. So, you know, if you can give them a break in a game like that, you try to do it.
And, you know, the one thing about you, too, is I always said that if I was an advanced scout, all I'd do is watch how you dissect hitters, because it seems like you find everybody's weakness, and then you have the control to exploit it.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's all pitching is, really. You know, you throw it where you think they have the least chance to hit it over the outfielders, and just kind of go from there.
How about yesterday? You know, you stopped the losing streak. That's the definition of a stopper.
Well, you know, we scored 10 runs, too. So, you know, I thought D. Lee probably stopped the losing streak with the home runs that he hit. But, you know, runs are a beautiful thing, and they can make a lot of guys look real good real fast.
You know, everybody talks about the strikeouts. Everybody talks about everything. But this is a pitcher. This is a pitcher's pitcher. Hey, stay tuned. We'll come back with part 2 of Abraham Nunez and his defense.
Hi, this is Dan McLaughlin. If you have foundation problems like this, or wet basement or crawl space problems, then take the time to call Woods Basement Systems and learn how Woods solves foundation, wet basement, and crawl space problems. Before you choose a company, make sure you get all the facts. I know the folks over at Woods. They help me and my family, and they can help you too with your basement problems. Call for a free estimate at 800-388-9326. Make sure you call Woods.
Other burgers are circular or rectangular, but the steak burger is spatular. Whatever macchiato is, it sure goes well with hot fudge caramel and mocha. The caramel mocha macchiato sippable Sunday milkshake. Like nothing you've ever had before. At least not through a straw.
Steak and Shake. We have 3 newer sippable Sunday milkshakes.
Okay, gamblers, if you want to win, you got to get loose and you got to stay loose. Harris, have you seen your numbers? How many times do I have to tell you it's about winning and payback? And the Casino Queen gives you the best chance to win. You can't compete with numbers like that. Now, come on, guys, let's head over to Casino Queen and win.
The Casino Queen Hotel and Casino. The loosest slots in the Midwest.
Hey, where'd everybody go?
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Whew. It is really hot down here. Mom! Mom! You're not wolfing down jalapenos again, are you? Yeah, because let me tell you about my friend Ned. His mama ate nothing but spicy foods. Homeboy came out red, Ma. Bright red. So if you keep cramming those peppers down your neck, I might just camp out in the corner here till I'm like 10.
Hardee's new spicy barbecue thick burger with crispy jalapenos. It ain't for babies.
Cubs and Cardinals, game number 2 here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Al's been a busy man. He's talking defensive positioning in part 2 with Abraham Nunez.
You know, Fernando Vina used to always talk about the button on his hat was so important to him. He wanted every time he fielded a ball, he wanted everyone to be able to see the button on his hat, because then he knew he got down and looked the ball into the glove.
Yeah, that's the correct advice. So that's the same thing I try to do. Like when I said, like, I like to watch the ball going all the way to my glove, that means I can watch the ball if my head is pointing there. I gotta look like this is the position where I like to catch the ball. When I catch the ball, I like to see the ball right here. You see, they can see the button for all the way there. That's what I like. That's his position. I try to position myself every time in the right position to catch the ball.
All right, for young kids, when you're in that fielding position and you're going to, there's a runner on first base, So, you know, he's coming down. How do you position yourself to where you get the maximum quickness to making your throw to the man covering, the second baseman covering?
Yeah, if I'm playing shortstop, I like to have a strong positioning. So if I go to my right, I like to do like a little circle around to position myself in a position where I can catch the ball, turn, and give it a good feed. So it's all important to give this guy a good feed, that way he can turn, because most of the time, the guy in second base is not looking to the runner. He's looking to catch the ball and then get rid of it. So it makes his job easier if I give him a strong throw right in the chest. I give it a chest throw, just throw somewhere from his belt to the chest. That's a good feed. So I try to get it quick as I can, but also giving a firm throw to second base.
You can deke a guy by throwing it too soft. Or going like this, then he's anticipating when you don't throw.
Yeah, he's in between. So I just try to catch the ball and give him a firm throw. But that's going to come for position myself. If I got a good position in catching the ball, that's more likely I'm going to give it a better throw. I don't want to catch the ball balanced. I want to have balance. I want to set myself when I catch the ball in the middle, I catch the ball, boom, give him a slow throw. That's what I try to do all the time.
Good job, Al. We appreciate the time that Abraham Nunez gave us. We're now just about set for baseball. Matter of fact, Abraham will bat second when we come back. We'll give you our starting lineups and our first pitch after this timeout. Game number 2 just around the corner on FSN Midwest.
We spend our whole day dreaming about what an ATM could be, what it should be. We're working on cash deposits at our ATMs, where you won't even have to use an envelope. You put the cash in, our ATM quickly scans, counts the cash, and totals it for you. I'm Dean Kirby. I'm a banker, and I'm proud to be part of Bank of America. Bank of America has more ATMs around the country than any other bank, over 16,000 of them, and we never stop thinking about how to make them better. We've already carved at least 6 seconds out of the basic transaction. Doesn't sound like a lot unless you think of yourself in a van full of kids like I do. We're also working on transfers and payments at our ATMs. Watch. From checking, take $60 and pay towards your credit card. Or from checking, move $100 into your savings account. We're working on that. Imagine this, depositing checks. Now you see it on the screen, and we print that image on your receipt. At Bank of America, we want each of our ATMs to be a mini Bank of America. A mini bank as good as any big bank we've built. Bank of America. Higher standards.
It's a wonderful world. I'm just walking on air. Top of heaven on earth. I've got more than my share. Haven't got a care. Happy all day.
Rico dependability moves your ideas forward.
It's a wonderful world.
Tweaks, too.
Loving wonderful you.
Ever see people do this with their cell phone? They're just trying to get a good signal.
Switch to U.S. Cellular. Our network is so good it comes with a 30-day guarantee.
So stop doing this, or this, or this.
U.S. Cellular. We connect with you.
If you're looking for answers from an auto parts store, get ready. Advance Auto Parts is working harder to help you save money by doing it yourself. Get ready for certified experts who are ready to help. Get ready for answers on any project you can easily understand. Get ready for in-depth information from Advance TV, our exclusive in-store how-to network. Get ready to go from no way to know-how. For all the advice you'll ever need, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts.
We're ready in advance.
Cardinal baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser Select. Brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selected. By Auto Tire. For straight talk and great service, you ought to go to Auto Tire. And by Steak and Shake. Real steak burgers, and real milk milkshakes. Served 24 hours a day at Steak and Shake. The Windy City of Chicago. It was windy last night, Al.
Windy, and we're ready for a win. Just cut that word in half.
Cardinals have one of the top batting averages among teams in the National League. It's in the top 3 in this lineup, brought to you by Dodge. David Eckstein, Abraham Nunez, and Albert Pujols, who homered here yesterday in the first. Jim Edmonds, John Rodriguez, Mark Rudzelanek, So Taguchi, Mike Mahoney, the former Cub, and Jason Marquis can be a weapon in that 9th spot in the order, as well as the man that he's facing. Good hitter and obviously a very good pitcher. His numbers brought to you by Rico. He is 8-5 on the season. If he kept his numbers in check, his emotions in check, his numbers would be much better, Al, because he has cost himself a couple of wins by being ejected in games earlier this season.
Yeah, he did that earlier and everything, but he's 24 years of age and he's trying to work on that. He lasted just 3 innings in his last outing. He left the game trailing 4-0 with lower back stiffness, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Derek Lee has won a Gold Glove in his Major League career. The defense brought to you by Auto Tires. We go around the horn. Lawton, Patterson, Burnitz, Ramirez, Perez, Walker Lee. Michael Barrett is behind the plate. So newly acquired Matt Lawton in left field. Burnitz in right. We didn't see those two yesterday. The friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Walking around last night in this beautiful city, you could see Cardinal fans everywhere. A lot of fans coming up to us saying hello as they made this a long extended weekend. A little vacation here in Chicago. And it's always fun as this man has managed in this city with the White Sox, of course. In his 28th season in the big leagues. That's Tony La Russa, and he's on the hot seat right there. That's Dusty Baker. 13th season as a manager. And high expectations coming into this season. Injuries have cost the Cubs. And the first pitch to David Eckstein is a strike, and that's how we start the ball game. David is hitting .272, 5 home runs and 41 RBIs. Cardinals jumped out to a 2-0 lead yesterday, but that quickly vanished as Mark Mulder was not sharp.
Cardinals are in a little bit of a walking void. They have received a walk last 2 games, 18 innings.
Eckstein on a pitch that explodes in on his hands, almost hit his hand.
Great explanation of what that did. Is it was an explosive pitch and almost a self-defense swing. Hands out there, look at it run inside. Gives you an indication of the movement and high velocity that he possesses.
Here's an 0-2 pitch way outside. That one at 95 on our FSN gun.
Sometimes Zambrano early in the game will just kind of pitch around the low 90s, but when he wants to get it up there, he can top it out about 98.
Yesterday was the first time in 387 days since St. Louis last played the Cubs here at Wrigley Field. How about that? 387. And David again making this pitcher work in his first at bat. And he may have broken his bat, and he did. So the Cardinals will have Eckstein, Nunez, and Pujols to start this ball game in the first against Zambrano. Cubs are continuing their 7-day homestand. This is the second of the 4-game set with the division leading St. Louis Cardinals. They opened up this homestand by losing 3 straight. That's a foul ball. Good job in your interview, Al, with Greg Maddux, one of the classier guys in the game of baseball, a certain Hall of Famer, as he picked up his first complete game since July 22nd of 2004 and the 106th of his major league career. That's amazing.
You know, he's picked up the paper today and there was talk about him possibly retiring. He didn't know anything about that. He goes, I'm not retiring.
I mean, the media would make something up. Are you kidding me?
No, the media, yeah. And he goes, he kind of got clued in. He said, they're probably going to ask you about your retirement. And he goes, what are you talking about?
He had no idea.
He had no idea. That was the post-game game. And he said, I've never spoke about that. I try for next year. I still enjoy coming to the games. The days of had his son out the field.
David pops it up behind home plate. Barrett give it up, and it's out of play.
Had the Cub uniform on, and I asked him. I said, "You're a pretty good player," and he goes, "Yeah." I said, "You're real good?" He goes, "Yeah." Real good? He goes, "Yeah." And I said, well, "Get your Cardinal uniform on."
Sure,
he looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" I liked it when he showed up his dad too.
Hey, you get a lot of looks like that. What are you talking about? Here's David Eckstein again. Out to center. Nearly a 10-pitch at bat. 9 pitches in that leadoff at bat by David Eckstein. So Dusty Baker, and one of the things, rather that was a 10-pitch at bat. One of the things that he gets criticized for, in particular with Carlos Zambrano, and for a while there with Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood as well, is the fact that he lets these guys go deep into games. And some believe he lets them go too far. And it's caused some of the arm problems that all three have experienced.
Well, but the problem is he doesn't have a reliable bullpen. Zambrano's 24. They're all young guys, and you just sometimes you've got to extend them to teach them how to win. And we saw it against Zambrano when Dusty's first year he was here. Zambrano thought he was through like after 7 innings. And he said, "No, you're not through. I'll tell you when you're through." And he went out there, and Fernando Vina the next inning gave hit a grand slam off him. But mentally, he was content at that 7-inning mark, and he said, if you're going to win, you got to go all the way.
1-2 the count on Nunez. You were busy in our pregame as you had a chance to visit with Abraham back home in St. Louis and talk about positioning, with not just playing shortstop at second base and third base. He's the perfect guy to talk about and to talk with because of all the different things he has done for this team this year.
It's pretty amazing how quick my hair grows too.
It's amazing. So it's pre-haircut. I think everybody could pick up on that. The new one has grown on. I like the new haircut.
I just don't know how to fix it every day. I have to have you come over and fluff with it.
Hey, you're the one that used to carry the hair dryer, not me.
I don't need it anymore.
That's right. There's a group of red out in right field in those seats. Maybe somebody could put one there. Maybe Jimmy today could put one out there.
Well, remember he had that multi-home run game against Zambrano. There's some of what you're talking about. The victory blue mixed in with the red.
Well, the Cardinals in these first 2 at-bats have made Zambrano work. 16 pitches. Here comes number 17, and Nunez hits it foul and out of play. Here, Hal McRae, you look at this and say, I like this. This is a good approach.
Absolutely, and the Cardinals really don't have very good averages at all. Albert's 185. Just go right down. Eckstein was 250. Grizzlonics 200. Jim Edmonds 222. Albert 185. Rodriguez 250.
I mean this as a serious question. When you were playing, how many times did the batting coaches or even the guys, the everyday players that you played with, said our game plan is such and such against this pitcher? I mean, game plans just you just don't hear. You hear that in football, you hear it sometimes in basketball, shutting down an opposing player maybe, but a game plan in baseball, but that's become kind of an everyday thing now, whether it be with the Cardinals or any of these teams.
Well, I mean, the whole video concept is revolutionized, and gets you thinking about, okay, this is how we attack a hitter. Here's his strengths. This is what he's going to try and do to you.
0-1 pitch to Pujols. Albert pops it up to the left side. It's going to be taken by Ramirez. Carlos Zambrano. 1-2-3 first inning. Jason Marquis will take to the mound when we come back at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
So what's different about Budweiser Select? Good question. First, we start with a blend of the finest hand-selected North American and Bavarian hop varieties picked straight from the vine. Then we take the time to brew Budweiser Select longer, so you get a beer with light beer stats and a distinct bold taste that finishes clean. So why settle for anything less? Be selected.
Millions of American families rely on Ford. Right now, Ford invites you to join the Ford Family Plan and pay the same low prices our employees and their families pay. Until September 6th, you'll get our discounts on the entire family of Ford trucks in stock, including F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 28 years. Now, get an F-150 for just $13,909. That's just $13,909 for a built Ford tough F-150. No hassles, no gimmicks. Visit your quality Ford dealer today, and welcome to the family.
Alter your face the easy way. pucker up your Sonic slush. A whole new sour sensation from Sonic.
Auto Tire does all of the service work on my car. Nobody else. Auto Tire.
They will always take me in an emergency.
They are the best in St. Louis.
For the best car care service.
You ought to go to Auto Tire.
Chicago in 4th place in the Central Division, 18 games back of St. Louis with a record of 55-60. Dusty Baker's lineup brought to you by Dodge. Matt Lawton, Todd Walker, Derek Lee in the first, Aramis Ramirez, a cleanup man, then Jeremy Burnitz, Michael Barrett, Nefi Perez, Corey Patterson. Good game yesterday. Carlos Zambrano batting ninth. The Dodge lineup for Dusty Baker. And on the mound for St. Louis, our Rico starter is Jason Marquis. Again, he is trying to win game number 10.
Yeah, he's dropped 4 straight. He's only won 1 time his last 10 starts. So needs to get on track. He's pitched well at times. In July, he was 1-3 in 5 July starts with a 2.80 ERA, but not getting the wins.
A high strike to Matt Lawton. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lawton, the former Pirate. We thought the Cardinals might have interest in Matt Lawton with the injuries that they've had to the outfield, but he winds up in Chicago. A free agent to be. Good play by Albert. He will flip to Marquis, covering at first. But we should have known it, Al. It was a Pittsburgh Pirate, and if he's going anywhere, it's going to be here to Chicago.
Albert going to his left on a knee, and a little shovel pass to Marquis. A very good athlete, covering the bag.
Around the horn we go, brought to you by Auto Tire. Rodriguez, Edmonds, Taguchi in the outfield. Nunez, Eckstein, Gritzelanek, Pujols on the infield. Mahoney, the former Cub, is the catcher today, and that's your Auto Tire defense. Your second baseman, Todd Walker, is hitting .296, 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. And I said that because with Lawton, you have a situation where Randall Simon came over, Kenny Lofton came over, Aramis Ramirez came over back in 2003. All from Pittsburgh to Chicago in their run towards the playoffs. Hit hard, but right at the right fielder, so Taguchi.
One of the things, just talking with Maddux today, how complimentary he was of Taguchi. So he really likes the way he plays defense. And this guy, he's going to run for mayor. But Taguchi had made an impression with Maddux.
He had 2 hits yesterday off of Maddux. Should have had a 3rd one, if not for a very good play by Patterson out in center. And a curveball misses outside and in the dirt to Derek Lee. 35 home runs, 88 RBIs, and a .349 average. All in the top 5 for the Triple Crown.
He basically beat the Cardinals himself yesterday.
3-run home run, then a solo shot. And because of his very good offense this year, what gets overlooked is how well he plays defense. And the Cubs infielders will tell you he has saved them air after air, time and again. He's a tall guy. He's got real soft hands. He can move very well. Former Gold Glove winner. I think something that will be interesting today, Al, is to see how much Marquis will go with his curveball or his slider. He's got one of the best sinkers on the team, and until he gets beaten with it, don't change it.
Right. This guy is a low ball hitter, and the Cardinals are really struggling to try and get him out.
Jason doesn't get the call, and it's 3-1 with Ramirez on deck. He has hit safely in 18 of his last 25. Yesterday was his 16th career multi-home run game. And when the Cubs were in St. Louis 2 times this year, he was just mashed Cardinal pitching. And when he's not mashing it, he's drawing walks. On base a bunch against St. Louis. The count is full, 3-2. And Lee spoils a good pitch by Marquis. Last time out for Marquis was against his former club, the Atlanta Braves. He was perfect through the first 4 innings, and then Andruw Jones got him.
Got him twice in that ball game. Fastball in.
And he struck him out. Strikeout on the first for Jason Marquis. He goes to the Cubs 1-2-3. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago. There's your score.
Check it out, the President Casino is better than ever.
Come see why the President Casino on Admiral is better than ever.
More tables and games, the full house of fun, to any of excitement for everyone. With the losers slots and Missouri too. Come on in and we can party with you. Come on, check it out.
Triple points Monday through Thursday, only at the President Casino.
High flying, hard hitting, and slightly out of control. It's the best damn sports show, period. Join Chris Rose, John Sally, Rob Dibble, and Rodney Pete for the most outrageous late-night sports show television's ever seen.
That's not cool, Sally.
Where the stars and Hall of Famers come together. America's favorite late-night sports show has a whole new edge. The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
Here's the deal.
One novice bike builder.
I know I can build a bike.
In the ultimate challenge.
You do a great job, it's your bike.
Build a custom iron horse.
You don't finish the bike, you're done.
From the ground up.
Let's start.
The catch. He's got 30 days.
Hopefully he's got what it takes.
Build or bust.
I shouldn't have to explain this.
If he wants to ride the best.
Looks to me like he's never seen a bike in his life.
He has to build like the best.
How badass is that?
Build or bust. Exclusively on Speed Channel.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
Jack in the Box standings. And the Cardinals lead the division by 10.5 games with a record of 73-42, best in the National League. Chicago 5 games below the 500 mark, 18 games out, and they are 7.5 games out in the wild card. Here's Jack in the Box standings, and here's Edmonds. Good rip at that first pitch. Edmonds, a season ago, a couple of home runs against Zambrano, and it was a game in which Carlos took exception to those home runs and plunked Jimmy a couple of times. It was then ejected. 1-1. Zambrano will be out there and he'll try to intimidate you.
See, Jim, he's got 2 home runs against him, but not a lot of success.
Like you said before, I mean, you could say that for just about anybody.
Yeah, everybody on this ball club, nobody's really hitting him.
The bottom drops out of that sinker, 2-2.
The best thing that can happen is the Cardinals get that pitch count up, try and knock him out of the game. Maybe that back starts tightening up. But when he is on, he is a handful.
Mention that the Cubs are 7.5 games back in the wild card. They would have to leapfrog over Milwaukee, New York, Washington, Florida, Philadelphia, and then get to Houston. Now, they've got a chance to do some damage because they've got a bunch of games left with the Astros, who will play Pittsburgh tonight. Roy Oswalt going for the Astros, and Duke, who is 5-0. He's been a nice, pleasant surprise for the Pirates. He'll be on the mound for Pittsburgh. But where it gets interesting for Dusty Baker in Chicago, Al, is what to do with Kerry Wood. They believe he'll have to have a cleanup surgery on his shoulder at the end of the season. And Kerry Wood is working exclusively right now out of the bullpen for Dusty. But he did say, hold on, if we can make a little bit of a run and get back in this thing, we might move him back in the starting rotation. But the problem that they have with him is that he gets to about 60 pitches, and that's when he starts to run into problems.
Pretty hard to be a starter and have problems after 60 pitches.
Yep.
So far in the bullpen, he's pitched well, but they've been in meaningless games because they were during the 8-game losing streak.
Rodriguez hits it foul past Jose Oquendo.
Rodriguez 1 for 4 against Zambrano.
And the count is 2-1 on John Rodriguez. Will he fastball? Or throw him a fastball is a better question.
Well, he'll see one from this guy.
The bloop's in there for a hit.
And there's your fastball. There's your base hit, what you're talking about. But
And you know where I'm going with that.
And the accurate description is, you say, blooped in there. Maybe we can get a bunch of quails and bloops. That gets under the skin of a pitcher. Tumbling action on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
And Rodriguez, you might remember, in that Friday night game, went deep against Zambrano. And now it's Grizzolonic, the former Cub. I was talking with one of the media members here in Chicago, and they said, what is it about that Cardinals uniform? I mean, a guy puts on that uniform and all of a sudden he can play again. And they said when they were watching Mark Grizzolonic, he was a liability at second base defensively, wasn't hitting like this, and he's going to win the Gold Glove, in my opinion, in the National League at second base.
Well, you hope he does. Tony's even called him the best second baseman in the National League. Castillo, Florida, has won it the last couple of years.
And it's 3-0.
That media member of the Cubs is a lot different than what we perceive. We've just been thrilled to death with the way the play of Grizzolonic, offensively and defensively.
Well, Giacotti was on this trip to Chicago, was saying that he's the best second baseman that, in his opinion, the Cardinals have had since he has been the GM, which was back in '94. And I said, even better than Vigna. He said, well, the thing about Vigna, he had the great feet and the quick hands, he said, but he does not have the arm of Grizzolonic, which makes up for a lot on those turns on double plays.
Sure.
Runner is going, and it's hit to second. So the Cardinals are starting the runner, avoid at least a double play. And Rodriguez is in scoring position. And here's your buddy Sotoguchi.
Just had a multi-hit game yesterday for So, and could have been very easily 3 hits.
Well, day game, and you know that we've got tickets available back home, and Michael Hall working hard today in St. Louis along with Theron Morgan. And they pick him off out at second base. Another base running error by John Rodriguez. Walker with the tag, no doubt about it, he got him. Midway through the second, there's no score.
Since we introduced the Ford Family Plan, hundreds of thousands of Americans have joined in on the savings. Now we're extending the plan until September 6th. Get the same low prices Ford employees pay for America's most popular line of SUVs. Family pricing on Ford Explorer, America's best-selling, most trusted SUV. Now get a Ford Explorer with our employee pricing at just $22,825. That's just $22,825 for a brand new Ford Explorer. No hassles, no gimmicks. Visit your quality Ford dealer today.
Why should you go to Auto Tires?
Because of our people. Our managers have been with us for a long time. Many of our customers have worked with the same team for years. It's important to know the people you trust your car to.
Or the people you know and trust.
You ought to go to Auto Tire.
Okay, gamblers, if you want to win, you got to get loose and you got to stay loose. Harris, have you seen your numbers? Ameristar, star of what? How many times do I have to tell you it's about winning and payback? And the Casino Queen gives you the best chance to win. You can't compete with numbers like that. Now, come on, guys. Let's head over to Casino Queen and win.
The Casino Queen Hotel and Casino. The loosest slots in the Midwest.
We can rebuild a carburetor. Put together a 5-speaker surround sound stereo. And juggle 4 girlfriends without ever getting busted. Oh well, can't be good at everything. The grilled pork chop biscuit at Hardee's. Without us, some guys would starve.
Hardee's, Singular Wireless, and the Post will have your all Busch Stadium team. You can vote at 7267 on your Singular Wireless phone. You can also go to STLCardinals.com. Out to right center and positioned perfectly is Sotoguchi, and Ramirez is retired. So that's 4 up and 4 down with a strikeout mixed in for Marquis. Good start so far.
His last 2 road starts have been losses, but pitched effectively as they've been both by the score of 2-1. Well, Ramirez, a very dangerous hitter, and you see the movement, action running in on the right-handed batter.
And the batter is Jeremy Burnitz, the man that has taken the place of Sammy Sosa here in Chicago in right field. Does it surprise you he's only 8 home runs away from 300 in his career?
Burnitz?
Burnitz.
He's had a couple big years.
Good pitch by Marquis, doesn't get the call. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jeremy's struggling right now.
Average has dipped to 258.
3 for his last 32 over the last 8 games.
That's in his last 8 games, the last month or so. Only hitting 220, and the power numbers have been down. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Hit sharply to Pujols. His second sliding grab near the line. Took a hit away from Lawton. Takes a hit away there from Burnitz.
Albert coming over there, flagging it down, hit hard, but goes to his left. And Marquis once again doing his job.
2 outs, nobody on for Michael Barrett. He's picked it up as of late. Nearly a .330 average his last 16 games, and he looks at his strike. He was on base 4 times yesterday. A couple of hits, a pair of walks.
5 for 12 against Marquis.
But then again, just about everybody was on base at some point yesterday for Chicago.
Well, Cardinals had the same situation too. Every one of their starters had a hit.
Here comes an 0-2 pitch from Marquis. Fastball 1-2. 16 is the Cubs catcher.
It's not really that hot, but it is just muggy up here. No air.
First got to the ballpark, we had a little rain this morning here in Chicago. They actually had the tarp on the field, so the teams had to take batting practice out in the batting cage underneath the stands in right field. And you're right, it was hot down on the field today. 2-2 pitch. From 0-2 to a full count. But then after they finish up BP, they padlock the doors.
Can't let anybody get in there. I'm going to go find the key.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. He was fooled on that pitch, but still was able to drive it all the way to the wall. And it's a 2-out double for Barrett. Marquis goes with a breaking ball on a 3-2 pitch. Not his best pitch. And Barrett, it looked like, was initially fooled by it, but stayed with it enough to drive it into right field.
Well, because kind of a hanger, is able to kind of make the adjustment, gets it right down into the corner. But there are 2 outs for Nefi Perez.
Nefi hitting .266, playing shortstop today with Nomar on the bench. That's something that Dusty has got to deal with as well down the stretch, finding spots to rest Nomar Garciaparra. Back-to-back days are tough for him. He was 2 for 5 yesterday. Nunez cheating in at third. Outfield is straight away, and the pitch is taken for a ball outside. Corey Patterson is waiting on deck. Perez a chance to play every day this season with Chicago with the injury to Garciaparra. And defensively, he has exceeded their expectations.
July 24th at St. Louis. A 2-out grand slam in the top.
Had some good seasons with Colorado. He was also in Kansas City. 1 season with the Giants. And now in his 2nd year with Chicago.
And 134 games since joining the Cubs in September of 04. Batted .288, 27 doubles, a triple, 10 home runs, and 48 RBIs. So he has definitely contributed. And we know he can play defense.
Originally signed with the Cubs as a minor league free agent. And he's a former Gold Glover. When I said the Cubs looked at him and said, all right, he's exceeded our expectations defensively, it's the fact that he's been doing it day in and day out, and his range has not diminished what they thought it might have been. Gold Glover back in 2000. 3-1 pitch. He's driven into right field. Barrett being waved in. Taguchi comes up throwing. The play at the plate. Not in time, and Chicago has an early 1-0 lead. Perez drives in his 43rd RBI.
2-out base hits. They're a thing of beauty when they happen for your ball club. Taguchi comes up here, throws just a little bit up the line, but he made it close.
How about Mahoney, where he was positioned to try to block the play too? You can see Barrett
had to go around him, but he had plenty of time to get around him and take one more step to get his hand over the plate. Low throw, so Neffy couldn't advance to second.
And here's Patterson. He fouls it back. It has not been an easy season for Corey Patterson. Booed by the home fans. Actually sent down to AAA. He's trying to regroup, and Dusty Baker has dropped him in the order. He's now batting 8th for Chicago after primarily being a leadoff man the last couple of years.
Sometimes those early assessments, people making comparisons between he and the great Lou Brock. It's not fair to Lou, and sometimes it's not fair to a young player because people expect a lot more from him.
Patterson is the 3rd overall selection back in the '98 draft. 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's see if Perez wants to do some running. He's got good speed at first. 1-2 the count.
Where he grew up playing sports with Bruce Suter's kids.
Out of Harrison High School in Kennesaw, Georgia. Hit down the left field line. That'll find the seats and get out of play. But the expectations are right out because of his power, and he's not a big guy. He's 5'9", 180, but he does have a lot of pop in that bat, but he hits a lot of fly balls, and with his great speed they want to see him put it on the ground and draw walks, something that he hasn't done either.
Now there are some comparisons to Lou Brock there, because Lou Brock, they wanted him to be a power hitter when he was with the Cubs, and he came to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals said, well, we want you to be a why don't you be a leadoff hitter? We want you to get on base, steal bases, do that. He said, you don't want me to hit home runs? Oh, no, we want you to have a running game. He goes, oh, okay.
Pretty good athlete, too.
Lou was kind of caught up in that, that 7 coaches, academy of coaches they had here. They didn't have a manager. They had 7 coaches.
Patterson down the right field line. It is hooking and foul. Puts it out onto the street, but foul. That's what I'm talking about right there. He's got power. For not being a very big guy, but he's a good athlete with that good speed. They want to see him put it in play. That ball was sitting there saying, hit me. Count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hit out to second. This should do it. Grizzolani takes it over to Pujols, and the Cubs strike first here in game number 2. An RBI by Nefi Perez, his 43rd. We go to the 3rd. Chicago on top.
Hello, Farmers Help Point. How can I help you?
Hi, listen, I just got rear-ended by some yahoo.
Are you okay?
Well, I'm fine. My car's a little busted up, though.
No problem. We'll take care of it.
How fast can Farmers Help Point service get your car fixed after an accident? Well, you get the idea. Help Point is free with your policy.
In Creve Coeur, call Les Johnston. In West County, call Terry Borton.
It's a wonderful world. I'm just walking on air. Talk of heaven on earth. I've got more than my share. Haven't got a care.
Rico dependability moves your ideas forward.
It's a wonderful
Changes too.
Loving wonderful you.
Ciabatta. C-B-A. Ciabatta. C-A. Can you use it in a sentence?
My new bacon and cheese ciabatta burger is made with 2 juicy jumbo patties covered with melting cheese, red onions, tomatoes, and 4 pieces of mouth-watering bacon on my lightly toasted ciabatta bread.
J. Ciabatta. C-I-A-B-A-T-T-A. Ciabatta. Peace out.
You're watching FSN Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
The state baseball history brought to you by Schnucks. The Rangers-White Sox game at Comiskey Park was finally postponed after a 7 1/2 hour rain delay. That was back in 1990. And the White Sox at 74-39. Cardinals not too far behind there at 73-42. Still play second fiddle to the Chicago Cubs. That's just the way it's been.
Yep.
You pick up the papers this morning, and of course there's a story on the White Sox. And matter of fact, one of the papers had a nice little Q&A with Vianney High School grad and the setup man for the White Sox, former Cardinal Cliff Polite. But the front page of the sports section had a huge full-page picture of Greg Maddux. And this is a team that's 18 games out, and the White Sox lead all of Major League Baseball. And yet they can't garner any of the headlines. That is hit into deep left field. Lawton back, and it's off the ivy. Taguchi, a wide turnaround first, and Lawton played it beautifully. He couldn't have played it any better out there in left field.
And you just never know what type of bounce or carom you're going to get off the ivy. Taguchi got a little breaking ball and hit it with authority over the head of Lawton, and there's that perfect carom, and got the ball back in quickly. Cardinals already trailed by 1. You don't want to run into an out at second, so.
I've been out there near that wall, and I'm sure fans that tune in say, well, maybe that ivy could be a little padding. Nope.
Nope.
Not at all. It's brick out there.
Brick behind it. And
this is a sacrifice situation here for Mike Mahoney with Marquis on deck, because he can be a weapon. The ivy-covered walls of Wrigley Field.
I like Zambrano's not the easiest to bunt, especially if he elevates the ball.
And his stuff moves all over the place. That's a good example right there. Yeah. Elevated.
You got to get that bat out there in fair territory, because you got to have fundamentals. Kind of stabbing at it, punching at it, tried to get down on it, but he never had the bat in fair territory.
Mahoney had a couple of stints with Chicago. Now seeing plenty of playing time with the Cardinals with the injury to Yadier Molina. And time is called. He's made 19 starts, including today, since joining the club.
He may switch off here as Ramirez really coming down Mahoney's throat.
A ball and a strike. Puts it in the air, but Zambrano Has time to go to second, on to first, and it's safe. Taguchi was kind of caught in no man's land because this thing was hit in the air, so no way he could commit by just going to second base, and that's why he was out by such a wide margin.
Neffy, little pirouette. He wanted that double play.
And here's Jason Marquis. He was a pinch hitter in yesterday's ball game and reached with a base hit against Greg Maddux. You can make a case he is the best hitting pitcher in baseball.
Well, Zambrano might challenge in that. You got now Mike Hampton, who's just been taken off the disabled list for Atlanta.
He's got 21 hits, and that matches his total from last season. 18 coming as a pitcher, and he's got 3 as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, 3 for 6 as a pinch hitter, including one yesterday. The last 2 days he's gotten pinch hits.
And the 18 hits as a pitcher ranked first in the National League, as do his 9 RBIs. So Zambrano knows that. He knows the scouting report, and he needs to be careful.
Mixed in a few extra base hits in there, including a home run.
Jason is a big, strong kid, too, and he's a guy that you give him that extra day's rest. He was geared up and ready to go today.
You know he doesn't like to keep on looking at that number 9 in the win column.
Marquis slaps it, and it is a fair ball. Mahoney around second, on his way to third, and it's a double for Jason Marquis. Just inside the line, if not on the line.
It sure looked like it hit on the line. See that ball running away, and look at that downward stroke. Get that line drive stroke right near the line. And the Cubs got a break because that ball carried him perfectly to Lawton. He got it back in. 1 out. You've got to pick up at least 1. Hopefully you get 2.
I don't know about you, but I love watching David Eckstein in these situations because he's a guy that makes the pitcher work, number 1, but number 2, he puts the ball in play. So the pressure then is on the shoulders of the defense.
How many times have the Cardinals executed the squeeze this year?
And why not with Zambrano on the mound? Just the kind of thing to get under his skin, too. As David hits it to third, Ramirez has a play at home, and Mahoney is going to run down. He'll try to stay in that rundown as long as he can. So Marquis advances to third, and Eckstein can't drive him in. He kicks the bag, and he's upset at himself.
Non-contact. Ball put in play at third base, and Mahoney comes home and easily gets in the rundown. Jason Marquis does a nice job when he sees him come back here. That's when Jason Marquis went to third base.
So first and third, and Nunez will be the hitter. He struck out back in the first. Zambrano with 2 Ks today. Cubs picked up a 2-out RBI base hit. The Cardinals would love to do so here in their half of the third. Nunez overall hitting .314, 5 home runs, 34 RBIs. Pujols on deck.
.347, runners in scoring position.
There's room into right center field as Nunez has been trying, though, to hit it and just slap it the other way.
How about this? Nunez is 14 for his last 29 with runners in scoring position. That's a .483 batting average, including an RBI single in the 5th, yesterday's game. But he has not had success against Zambrano.
In the hole here, 0-2. Cubs lead it 1-0 on an RBI by Neffy Perez in the bottom of the second. Zambrano set. First and third. 0-2 pitch. Not a seat to be had here at Wrigley Field as the fans were still filing in around the first inning or so. Get an early start to the weekend.
This town will be alive tonight.
You got it. Here's a 1-2. You can see why Dusty Baker has taken some heat with Mark Pryor, Carlos Zambrano, Kerry Wood, Greg Maddux all in the rotation. But the one thing they never did, they never addressed the needs of their bullpen, in particular a closer.
Well, you know, I've talked to some people about that. I mean, Jim Henry, their general manager, he wanted Dempster to be the closer, and Dusty wanted him in the rotation.
Popped up, shallow center. Perez called off by Patterson. The Cardinals waste a golden opportunity, and they strand two. Midway through the third, Dusty and the Cubs on top, 1-0.
Since we introduced the Ford Family Plan, hundreds of thousands of Americans have joined in on the savings. Now we're extending the plan until September 6th. Get employee pricing on F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, including F-150, the highest-ranked light-duty full-size pickup in initial quality by J.D. Power & Associates. Now get an F-150 with our employee pricing of just $15,270. That's just $15,270 for a brand-new Ford F-150. No hassles, no gimmicks. Visit your quality Ford dealer today.
Alter your face the easy way. Pucker up your Sonic Slush. A whole new sour sensation from Sonic.
If you're looking for answers from an auto parts store, get ready. Advance Auto Parts is working harder to help you save money by doing it yourself. Get ready for certified experts who are ready to help. Get ready for answers on any project you can easily understand. Get ready for in-depth information from Advance TV, our exclusive in-store how-to network. Get ready to go from no way to know how. For all the advice you'll ever need, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance.
Hey, it's just free checking. It's got a free Platinum Visa check card. And that comes with free Regents rewards from Visa Extras. And that can earn you free luggage, free shopping, or even a free ticket to paradise. Hey, wait a minute. That's not just free checking.
I think we're overdressed.
That's Regents pre-checking. And that's what gives 5 million customers everyday confidence.
This portion of Cardinal Baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. And by Rico. How well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? A Chicago-St. Louis weekend, as I believe the Bears will be in St. Louis for a little preseason football tonight. You can email us here in the booth at foxsports.com on MSN, the keyword Cardinals booth.
Now we have a double St. Louis win.
That'd be nice. I have an honest question for you. You ready for this one? Well, sometimes I throw it out there.
Okay.
But this one's an honest one.
Okay.
Why not, with Jason Marquis on the mound, move him up in the order? If you're going to sacrifice with Mahoney anyway, I think it's a logical question.
You know, when Tony did it earlier, when he first came to St. Louis, he was trying to get an extra leadoff man up there, but he is right now, you know, you hate to say this, but he's more of a threat than maybe our 8th place hitter.
And if you're sacrificing in that spot, go ahead and do it. I mean,
yeah, because you kind of keep on, don't want to. Mahoney's smart enough to know that, you know, that's what they think.
Right. Zambrano strikes out, and that's how we start the bottom of the third. You know, Tony La Russa also was saying this past week Mahoney was going to catch Anthony Reyes. And he told us both, hey guys, don't be surprised that, because we hadn't seen Reyes hit. He said, don't be surprised if we go ahead and sacrifice with Mike to get to Anthony Reyes and let him swing away. As we have a conversation with Hunter Wendelstedt and Marquis. And Reyes get hit.
I think what it is they're buying time from Mahoney. only got shook up a little bit on that ball, and umpire just out there trying to give him a little time to recover, and that's all. So you see Greg Maddux come out. So the breaking ball right there.
The bat got him on the way back. The follow through by Zambrano. That's strikeout number 2 from Marquis. We're back to the top of the order, and Matt Lawton for Chicago. And Lawton's play on the carom off the ivy saves a run for the Cubs last inning. Held So Taguchi to a single.
Well, the failure to sacrifice Taguchi over there cost him too.
Yep.
Would have scored on Marquis' double.
Matt Lawton, primarily in his career, has been an American League player with Cleveland and with Minnesota. And normally he's in the heart of the order, batting 3rd or 5th, but over here in the National League, out of necessity in Pittsburgh, he had to bat leadoff, and he's doing so here with Chicago. They don't have a true leadoff man either. They thought it was Patterson, but we talked about that before. Just did not get on base enough, so Lawton is in that leadoff spot. 0-2 the count. That's up the middle. Past the diving David Eckstein.
Eckstein was playing him into the hole, so a long run and a dive. Couldn't come up with it.
August 21st, bring your kids to the ballpark. It's the Build-A-Bear Workshop Bear Day. All kids 12 and under with a paid admission receive a specially designed bear featuring the final season logo. STLCardinals.com for information, or 421-2400.
Breaking ball. Hanging up there, roller, just hit it back up the middle and beat the defense.
And that's hit out of play. And strike 1 on Todd Walker.
Lawton, who has 16 steals, was running on the pitch.
Todd Walker's got the shades on at the plate. He's got to clean them up.
Something you didn't see much of, if ever.
Well, now guys are wearing the contacts that help you pick up the seams of the baseball. Ken Griffey Jr., one of those.
Took him off as sort of hot, muggy day. I mean,
steaming up.
It's probably just steaming up, or like you say, you just couldn't keep it on your face. So get rid of those. Get old school.
Todd Walker, one of those guys that when he came out of college, everybody knew he was going to be able to hit at this level, but play defense was the big question. Did not get along with Tom Kelly when he was in Minnesota. Played in Colorado, now in his 2nd season with Chicago. He's also been with Boston.
Chris Spire. Yeah, Chris Spire, 3rd base coach, flashing signs. Sarge, Gary Matthews over at 1st. He has some pretty good players, and of course he was a very good player in his own right on his coaching staff.
Short lead at 1st. The next pitch by Marquis outside. 3-1.
Dave Duncan out to talk to Marquis.
Earlier this season, and watching Jason Marquis, and I want to see if you agree with me. This at bat to me kind of has been an example of what he's been doing his last 10 starts. Just picking a little bit, not nearly as aggressive as what we saw in the beginning of the season.
Well, for whatever reason, a lot of pitchers today think they have to have 4 pitches. They got to have a slider, and they got to have a curveball. They got to have, a fastball, a 2-seamer in his case, 4-seam fastball. He's got a good changeup. But many times he allows the hitter, he gives in to the hitter and gives him pitches that he thinks he can hit. Bob Gibson was a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball and slider, but they were great. They're very, very good pitches.
Runner is going on a 3-1 pitch, and it's ball 4. So a single by Lawton after the strikeout by Zambrano by Marquis, and then after that single by Lawton, walk to Todd Walker, and all of a sudden you're asking for trouble because here's Derek Lee.
That's what Maddux was talking about. You know, you got big league hitters, and you put free passes and you put people on. Just many times is an extra run.
Outfield very deep. And the first pitch is taken low for a ball. Lee struck out back in the first. 0 for 1 today. Pair of home runs yesterday. And he has just had a remarkable season for Chicago. Some believe that he'll be the MVP, but Chicago as a team has got to win some more games to do that. Two and 0. Derek Lee came into play today, batting .349, just a point ahead of Miguel Cabrera of Florida. Pujols at .339. Home runs 2 back of Andruw Jones, and Lee is 3 back in the RBI department behind Pujols. 2 on and a 2-0 pitch.
Cardinals really haven't figured out how to pitch Derek Lee. He struck out the first time up.
He's a guy that you can count on playing every single day. Since the start of the 2000 season, he's played in at least 155 games a year. Some were wondering, was he wearing down? And he hits into a possible double play. Eckstein, Rutzelanic, double play. Thank you very much. There's that sinker getting the ground ball off the bat of Derek Lee.
Sometimes you just have to slow things down. That's why for Budweiser Select, we carefully handpick the finest 2-row barley malt. Then we take the time to brew Budweiser Select longer, so you get a beer with light beer stats and a distinct bold taste that finishes clean. Enjoy the taste. Be selective.
Bob Brocklin Pontiac Buick GMC in Cahokia announces the biggest car buying opportunity ever. Right now, you can buy any new 2005 Pontiac Buick or GMC at GM employee prices. This is an incredible offer that will save you big money on a new vehicle. It's never happened before, and it's for a limited time only, so don't miss out. Shop Bob Brocklin today and buy like a GM employee. That's Bob Brocklin Pontiac Buick GMC off I-255 at exit 13 in Cahokia.
The V-Chip and you. Parents, you decide what's right for your family. Everything from what they eat to what they play with. So isn't it important to supervise what they watch on TV? Using the TV ratings at the start of every program in conjunction with the V-Chip found in most newer sets, you can block the programs you find unsuitable for your family. And it's so easy to use. To learn more, visit this website or call the number on your screen. You can't always be there, but with the V-Chip, you are in control.
Recognizing higher standards, Bank of America presents the National League Player of the Week.
Padres pitcher Jake Peavy garnered NL honors by winning 2 games with 19 Ks and a 1.69 ERA.
Jake Peavy has been absolutely sensational in his second major league career shutout.
Bank of America, higher standards.
This week on the Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week, the National League Central leading Cardinals invade Wrigley Field to take on the Cubbies in one of baseball's best rivalries. Coverage begins Saturday at 12 p.m. only on Fox.
Here's Pujols against Zambrano. That should be a good matchup tomorrow as Chris Carpenter will be pitching on national television against Jerome Williams, the former Giant, as the Troy Hawkins was shipped to San Francisco, and Pujols hits this one to the opposite field. Carries all the way out there to Burnitz. Round number 1. Albert today is 0 for 2.
Which Carpenter threatened me.
Well, that's nice. Why'd he do that?
I was passing out our little flyers for our party. Our
Party
Fox
after the
party
game
for
today,
the sponsors after the game, and he said, "You better not get my boys. That's an important game for me tomorrow." So they'll be ready.
It is an important game for him. I mean, I said this yesterday, and the fact that if he tries to make a case for the Cy Young beyond stats, just don't look at what he's done on paper. As that one is hit towards the middle. Perez, good play over the bag and takes a hit away from Edmonds. But national television is the way to do it. He'll be going into just about every market in the country. And some of these people and writers don't see him on the East Coast or the West Coast. Well, now you get a shot tomorrow watching Chris Carpenter.
We saw some of that range we talked about from Perez as he fielded that ball on the edge of the outfield grass on the first base side of second. Off balance throw and had plenty of spare. Now Carpenter is, it's funny how voters justify different things. One year you can't give the MVP to Sam McGuire because the team didn't win. Next time they can give it to Sosa. They can give the MVP to him because he did something, but his team didn't win either.
Rodriguez fouls it back 1-2. He picked up a blue base hit over the shortstop. Perez, his first time up. Cardinals with 3 hits today. Chicago with 3. And an RBI by Perez, the difference so far. Rodriguez to the opposite field again, and that drops for a hit. Good piece of hitting there on that 1-2 pitch. He's 2 for 2, and it brings up Greg Maddux.
We know he can hit, but you have to be a little concerning about his base running. Similar pitch, you see that movement, split finger pitch, goes out, and very nice piece of hitting going with the pitch the opposite way.
Now I agree with you, not just a little concerned, I think very concerned. I mean, he's been picked off 2 or 3 times already today, once, but picked off from a catcher, throwing down to first. We have seen him take wide turns, trying to be overly aggressive. That has cost him. His base running has been poor as Mark Grudzielanek swings and misses.
Those are things that are, is just lack of concentration. Things that you can work on and you can become proficient. But, you can't go out there and daydream. And now these advanced scouts, they see that. They'll tell their team and they'll put on all kinds of pick-off moves.
Short lead at first, long look, and the pitch hit down the right field line, slicing out of play. The other thing that I've noticed with Rodriguez is that he hasn't gotten very good jumps in the outfield either. I mean, base running and his jumps have not been great, but his hitting coming up at this level after 8.5 years in the minors has been very good. And it's provided the Cardinals a stopgap between injuries. At some point, Larry Walker's going to be ready. And I think the Cardinals are being overly cautious with him on purpose, just to make sure that those batteries are charged up for the final month of the season. He's feeling very good now. And Reggie Sanders, no need to rush him. It's a 10.5 game lead. And Rodriguez has played well. Quietly getting better is Molina.
Yeah. You get a Zambrano. He's a handful even when you have your full complement of regulars. But playing with 4 injured starters. Here's another situation, with Rodriguez out there. Maybe you would try to do a hit and run because Grudzielanik's pretty good at going to the opposite field. Got gap type power, but
0-2 pitch, up and in. We were talking the other day about Bobby Cox and the job he has done weathering the storm with all the injuries. Well, let's look at the guy in the St. Louis dugout. He's done a masterful job, and I thought one of the games on this road trip really showed everybody why he is one of the great all-time managers, and that was that game
Ben Sheets
against Ben Sheets, and how that was built up and taken through order by Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. Cubs on top, middle of the 4th.
Hey. Whew. Yeah. You look relaxed for somebody in your condition.
It's because I have Aflac.
What do you mean?
Oh, when I'm hurt and miss work, Aflac gives me cash to help pay bills my health insurance doesn't.
You mean like car payments?
Mm-hmm.
Electric bills?
Mm-hmm.
Or the rent?
Yep. Even food. Chinese is here.
Great. I love duck.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Auto Tire keeps great records of my car, so whenever I go into the store, they know what has been done and what needs to be done.
Auto Tire is always ready to take us in.
I recommend Auto Tire to anybody.
For the best car care service,
You ought to go to Auto Tire.
They lurk in the water, waiting for a fight. The season-long battle for the FLW Championship continues.
He's got a monster.
The competition tightens, and the stakes increase for the world's top anglers.
Look at the bend in that rod.
Get caught in the action, emotion, and adrenaline. FLW Outdoors, Sundays on FSN.
Fuel TV is fearless, daring, and exhilarating. Exclusively covering the action sports universe like no one else. Featuring skateboarding, surfing, BMX, freestyle moto, snowboarding, and wakeboarding. Fuel TV is independent, defiant, and without limits. Fuel TV is you. Fuel TV, action sports television.
1-0 Cubs midway through the fourth. It's tough enough catching at this level. It makes it really hard is when a guy follows through and plunks you on top of the head. That's what happened with Carlos Zambrano and Mike Mahoney behind the plate.
And good reason why you wear that hard helmet. You get that backswing. You know, sometimes you'll know about a certain type hitter and they'll warn you. You know, he's got a vicious backswing, so don't get too close. But on that breaking ball, he had to kind of scoot up a little closer than normal. The hockey style mask kind of provide that hard, it protects the head there. But you see now where these guys wear the helmets just for that case. So if you have that backswing and hit you on top of the head, you're okay.
Pitch on the outside corner. Aramis Ramirez, 2 balls, 1 strike. Ramirez, Burnitz, and Barrett.
Jason wanted that last pitch. Didn't get it.
Hit a mile high on the infield. Backing up in the shallow left center field is the shortstop, David Eckstein. And Ramirez is 0 for 2. David's got the, those are old school, man. Those are the flip down sunglasses.
Got him there in case he needed it, but it's enough cloud cover that apparently it wasn't bright sunshine, so he didn't need to flip them down. Waving off the outfielders, telling him he's got it.
First pitch to Burnitz is taken for a ball. Cubs have an option on Burnitz for next season. He's from Westminster, California. Ground ball. Pujols will take it. Leads Marquis. Good job by Marquis to have the nifty footwork over there at first base.
It's not always easy for some pitchers. They're running over there and catching a ball and stepping on the bag all at the same time.
He's a tremendous athlete.
He's a very good athlete.
This day in baseball history. And here it is. It's this day right now. I thought we were going to our this day in baseball history. Then I realized we already did the White Sox.
7.5 hour rain delay finally called.
So this day in baseball history was just a second ago. A look at Wrigley.
I'm sure Doug was working that game.
Did you like that? I was working on the fly there, Al, trying to cover it up. You know, things like that can happen. You just roll with the punches. That's what live television is all about.
Well, that's what happens when those directors that are not supposed to talk to you talk to you.
See, I like it when our director Tommy talks to us. You may not like. I like it. Now, if we can only get the producer to shut up. I'm just joking. The guys and gals in the truck, the best in the business, our Bud Sports crew. Marquis has gotten Ramirez and Burnett's trying to get Barrett 0-2. Cardinals will return home after an off day on Monday, and then we'll head out on our longest road trip of the season coming up. 4 cities, 2 weeks. Pittsburgh, Washington, Florida, Houston, and then Houston. Hard hit again by Barrett. Looking for his second double. Rodriguez quickly getting it back in. Michael Barrett 2 for 2. And what a series he's put together so far. 4 base hits and on base 6 times in the first 2 games.
Sitting right up there. Belt high, middle half in. The second double of this game. It's been the Barrett Perez show.
Perez has the RBI base hit and a couple of nifty plays defensively.
I like those sunglasses. Like Hollywood.
Perez out to center field. This will be handled by Edmonds with the glasses on. Cubs have stranded 3 on the day. We move into the 5th, and the Cubs have a lead of 1-0.
Savings add up at McDonald's. Now get a 42-ounce drink like a big bold Dr. Pepper for just 89 cents. That's a big drink for a little price at McDonald's.
It's Hyundai Summer Clearance. Save the dates to save big on models like the popular Hyundai Elantra, which you can now own for only $169 a month. That's just $169 a month for the Hyundai Elantra. Winner of Strategic Vision's Total Value Award, with award-winning quality backed by America's best warranty. So circle the dates for Hyundai's Summer Clearance, going on now at your local Hyundai dealer. During Hyundai Summer Clearance, you can own the Hyundai Elantra for just $169 a month.
Getting the kids off to school is easier than ever with one-stop shopping at Schnucks. We have your school day essentials, including notebooks, paper, pens, crayons, and glue, and even a selection of backpacks. You'll also find fun lunchboxes and all their favorites to fill them. From sandwich fixings to afternoon snacks, juice packs to fresh fruits and veggies. Schnucks has everything you need to be ready for school any day.
At Schnucks, we make it easy.
The best damn sports show period. Weeknights on FSN.
Aflac trivia question here from Wrigley Field as we move into the 5th. Who was the last Cardinal to hit for the cycle against Chicago? That's your Aflac trivia question. We've seen the cycle this year. That was Mark Ritzelonic back home in St. Louis. And that cycle was the first since
Milwaukee,
John Mabry. Yep, that one was against Milwaukee. And then Mabry's was against Colorado back in 1996.
Right.
There's Taguchi 1 for 1 with a single back in the 3rd. It was off the wall and played perfectly by the left fielder Matt Lawton to hold Taguchi to a single.
That base hit earlier. He now has a 6-game hitting streak.
And it's quickly 0-2. Mahoney on deck, and then Jason Marquis. Beautiful day here in Chicago. Like you said, it is warm. It's very, very muggy. Is that a strikeout or did he get a piece? Taguchi saying he tipped it. And Tony La Russa is looking out towards our home plate umpire, Hunter Wintelstadt, and he's not going to argue, it looks like.
In Taguchi's mind, he felt that he had fouled that ball.
Strikeout number 4.
You know, he's not going to be the type that is not going to run. So in his mind, he fouled that pitch. That's where you feel for him, because he's, you know, how's he really going to argue?
Maybe he got a piece of it after it bounced out of the glove. A little late on that swing. 0-2 on Mike Mahoney. This could be a very quick inning for Zambrano. Mahoney bloops it out to left field. He had broken his bat on that pitch. 2 away. And here's Marquis, who doubled. First time up. Pitch count for Carlos Zambrano at 71. Only 20 balls. And that was the thing that just stood out to me about Maddux yesterday, was his pitch count, how efficient he was in throwing strikes, and you touched upon that with him during your interview.
Yeah, he's just a machine. I wonder sometimes if the pitches that are called balls or aren't intentional.
Our graphic showed that he had hit 100 miles an hour on a pitch today. And all the way down into the mid-70s, the variance in the speeds. Here's a 1-2 pitch outside to Marquis. Little tapper towards the middle. Walker, tough play, and Marquis hustling down the line is safe. So he's 2 for 2.
He'll do everything he can. Pitch better. He's 2 for 2 in this ball game.
He can hit.
And there's Walker. I mean, you know, they've always said that Grizzlonic was the better defensive player than Todd Walker. And does a nice job to get to it. Tried to throw him out, but couldn't make the play.
And here's David Eckstein. He had a great opportunity his last time up with runners at first and third. The infield was drawn in. And Eckstein grounded to third, and they got the runner coming home, which was Mahoney.
A little conference with Barrett and Zambrano. Bear down and get Eckstein out. And bunch him in the outfield.
Carlos Zambrano out of Venezuela. Was signed as a non-drafted free agent back in 1997. 6'5", 255-pounder. Nasty. First pitch to David. Taken for a ball. Hit towards third, knocked down by Ramirez. Quickly up, over to first. Eckstein retired. Bottom half of the fifth coming up. Bottom of the order, Patterson, Zambrano, then Lawton.
Every day, countless men and women across this country risk their lives in order to keep America free and safe. At Budweiser, we salute these brave individuals who do so much to protect all of us. Budweiser, not just American beer, American pride.
Are you still living with the problems of a sinking foundation? You might want to call the experts.
The symptoms of a sinking foundation can be subtle, But the experts at Woods Basement Systems are trained to identify those symptoms. With the grip-type peering system, they can lift and stabilize your home, all for a lot less time and money than you might expect.
Woods, we fix basements for your peace of mind.
Hi, I'm Dan Bellman from Bellman Pontiac GMC. GM's offer of employee pricing for everyone was such a huge success, it's been extended through July. Right now, pay just $19,559 for a well-equipped 05 Grand Prix while supplies last, or save up to $13,600 on a new 05 Yukon Denali XL, or up to $12,000 on a new 05 Explorer conversion van. This is your second and last chance to buy like a GM employee, so hurry in and choose from the area's biggest selection while supplies are still good. That's Bellman Pontiac GMC, I-270 and McDonald Boulevard.
This afternoon after the game on Hyundai Midwest Sports Tonight. Complete wrap-up for the Cards and Cubs, including post-game reaction from Chicago and your phone calls at 1-888-RING-FOX. That and more after the game on MST.
Affleck! Those Ducks to the Affleck duck. Who was the last Cardinal to hit for the cycle against the Chicago Cubs?
And Boyer. And you would have liked Boyer, the captain. Man's man.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was a great guy.
I like that shot that we just had in the dead of winter of downtown Chicago.
Take a look at this one again on the rundown play. Zambrano.
Zambrano applies a tag.
He tagged him with the ball in his glove.
Some were maybe thinking that he had done it with tagging him with the glove without the ball being in the glove, but that's not the case as Patterson's going to try to bunt his way on. Pujols quickly and tags him out.
Failed to see is to take the ball out of the glove. There, Albert. A little foot race. Patterson going down the line, and Albert getting him on the back. Come in, field the ball. He's played well defensively today. But we're looking for some offense.
One down, and it brings in Carlos Zambrano. He's 0 for 1, a strikeout back in the third. Marquis has gotten him for 2 hits, and Zambrano could hit a little bit. No home runs yet this year, 4 RBIs and a .245 average.
13 hits for the switch hitter. This side of the plate. Came in batting .275.
Here comes an 0-2 pitch. Just got a piece. The guy below us, you can hear that crowd getting pretty excited. Apparently he's on the phone, his Marshall Wireless BlackBerry, and then made the catch with his other hand out. So they gave a nice round of applause.
They're doing that all the time.
At least I'm consistent.
Of course, you're not catching the ball.
No. Hit to short and past David Eckstein. A hit for Carlos Zambrano on a 1-2 pitch. Let's give you our What's on Tap we tell you about tomorrow. Chris Carpenter will look for victory number 17. And that game will be seen on KTVI. What's on Tap is brought to you by Budweiser. Carpenter against Jerome Williams. He's 3-5. ERA of Chris Carpenter is 2.26. He's just had a remarkable year. The Cubs said goodbye to LaTroy Hawkins, sent him to San Francisco, and one of the guys coming back, Jerome Williams. And that was a guy that was at least from the Giants' perspective, they anticipated him being a front of the end rotation kind of guy for years. He came up and was terrific for a while. Matt Lawton is 1 for 2 on the day. We're back to the top of the order for Chicago. Outfield is straight away. And it's 2-1 as again Marquis falls behind.
He's keeping the ball down but not getting the calls. You're not going to get hurt. And he has been hurt by the long ball this year. 19 allowed. It's an awful lot for a sinker ball.
2-1 pitch. Grudzielanek can't come up with it. Into center field it goes, and Zambrano will stop at second base. Second base hit for Matt Lawton. 5th on the day for Chicago. Almost came up with it.
Ball down, gets a ground ball, but hit hard and through the infield.
And it brings in the second baseman Todd Walker. First pitch outside. Zambrano, of course, does not run well. He's at second base. Lawton standing at first. Cardinals have turned 1 double play today.
I don't know if I want to get in his way, though.
No. It's a bang, bang, bang play at the plate. Watch out. 255 pounds steaming at you.
He may be more than that, but he's at least that. And he's at least twice the size of Mahoney.
A mean attitude on top of it. They already got Mahoney with the bat.
Right.
1 ball, 1 strike on Todd Walker. Good rip at that pitch. Pitch count for Marquis this afternoon at 75. Last season, Todd batted .274 with 15 homers, 50 RBIs in his first season with Chicago. Speed differential for Marquis at 94 and 73. After this season, he'll have spent nearly 9 years in the major leagues for Todd Walker. Been around for a while.
It seemed like it's been that long, and now Marquis and Mahoney will get together. 1 out, 1 ball, 2 strike count. Crowd's kind of waiting to erupt, isn't it?
Had plenty of chances yesterday. You're right, it's been fairly quiet so far. Only RBI by Perez. That was back in the second to score Michael Barrett. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Love to see a double play here and have Derek Lee come up with nobody on. Smattering of red in the seats. Marquis, a long look. Finally set with runners at first and second, and a 2-2 pitch. Todd Walker today has fly to right, and he walked back in the 3rd. Big pitch here in this ball game with Lee on deck. And like you've said so many times, Al, you don't want to think ahead, but there he is. Derek Lee standing on deck, and you'd like to see him come up with not as much of a chance to do some damage. Here's a 3-2. Grudzielanek has it. Eckstein. And that's the Cardinals' second double play they have turned, and a big one there. The Cubs strand Zambrano out there at third base. The double play turn by Grudzielanek, Eckstein, and Pujols. It stays 1-0 Chicago.
Well, the Chrysler Group's done it again with their most award-winning and freshest lineup ever.
Chrysler Group vehicles are projected to retain their value better than Ford or GM.
Chrysler Group vehicles have significantly improved quality over the last 3 years.
You know, there's still something missing here.
Announcing Employee Pricing Plus. Everyone in America can get the employee discount plus up to an extra $3,500 cash allowance. So remember, if you can find a better car, buy it.
Now we're talking.
It's the best damn sports show, period. All-Star Summer. Frank Caliendo brings his friends along for a night of comedy you just can't miss.
Hey, Kobe, pass me the ball, would you?
We've got a night of Olympic stars that only Best Damn can deliver. Fight night with gold medalists Audley Harrison and Andre Ward. And it's the Hooters swimsuit pageant. Need we say more? So get ready for some fun in the sun all summer long on FSN.
Here she is. I don't know what's wrong with her.
Guys, you better hurry. Welcome to the world, little fella.
Fox NFL Sunday returns this September.
You're watching FSN Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
Cubs lead it 1-0 over St. Louis, and it's a couple looks at this double play, the second that the Cardinals have turned this afternoon.
Hit hard, one hopper there. Grudzielanek gets it, flip to Eckstein. He had plenty of time to take his time. Nice little flip. And you see David has plenty of time to just make sure he gets a good strike there.
And Derek Lee stands on deck.
And they're already trailing 1-0, but that could have been bases loaded. Bringing up Derek Lee.
Cardinals have 5 hits today against Zambrano, but no runs as Chicago has a 1-0 lead.
Nobody on the rooftop there, but they're inside.
Nunez 0 for 2.
That's a neat sign.
Flied out. Sure is.
Wonder what that billboard costs.
First pitch in the dirt to Abraham, who's again playing third base today. Nunez, Pujols, and Edmonds. This will be the third time through the order for Carlos Zambrano. One ball, one strike. Mentioned the Cardinals have a record of 73-42. And Tony La Russa is inching closer, just 7 wins shy of matching Sparky Anderson for third on baseball's all-time wins list. A little frustration out there by Zambrano.
And he threw the pitch and then just turned his back on his catcher, and Michael Barrett was ready to throw it back.
Nunez out to center field. Will be handled by Patterson. Did you see how the Anaheim-Oakland game ended yesterday?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it, where Rodriguez snapped at a ball and winning run scored. Does he fail to miss it or something?
It wasn't even snapping at it. It was more so as Zambrano now visiting with the home plate umpire and the catcher. It was just out of frustration. The pitch was...
Dusty's coming out to talk. You wonder if there's something wrong, and now...
He's also saying this is not an official visit.
Right. He's saying they were going to ask about his back. Remember, the last game he came out with a back problem. So you wonder if that's starting to aggravate.
And that's why he turned his back on that one pitch, just to maybe gather himself.
I was thinking for a second he was
upset
with the call, and Hunter Wendelstedt, was out there to check on that, see what happened on the last pitch. Maybe a little discomfort, or
well, he's had an arm problem this year too. His right forearm was bothering him for a while.
Yeah, too much computer time. Carpal tunnel, right?
That's right. Here's Pujols 0 for 2, average at 337.
See, I'll never have that problem. How about
now,
that
what
pitch?
was that pitch?
That was an ephus. Try to go out there and throw a 33-mile-an-hour pitch.
And Pujols rips it fair down the third base line. And I've got to wonder if Zambrano is right now feeling 100%, because there was no life on that pitch whatsoever. And obviously the first pitch looked odd.
It's 86 miles an hour. You don't know if it was some type of cutter or whatever, but it really didn't do much. There was the little ephus first one, and then this is the double pitch. It was a split finger.
Yep.
Didn't do anything, just tumbled. Said hit me, and they're going to get the pitcher ready. They're going to get Novoa.
That pitch at 93 from Zambrano to Edmonds. Sixth inning here in Chicago. The Cardinals have a one-out double by Pujols, and now Jimmy, who's 0 for 2, digging in.
Do it now.
It's about to say, though, Rodriguez, when he got that ball back, didn't really snap at it. He was just so frustrated with the call. It was lackadaisical. Off his glove, and it trickled off the mound. No one was backing up as far as the middle infielders. And Jason Kendall heads up play to score from third to win it for Oakland. This is the kind of play you'd see in Little League, not in the major leagues.
Mike Cameron and Beltran had a collision. Cameron with broken nose, both cheekbones broken. They were head-to-head collision.
There's a 2-1 pitch inside Edmonds, 2-2. Let's keep a watchful eye here on Zambrano and just see if he is comfortable on the mound, because he's not working at the same pace, and he just does not look to be in sync. Could be wrong. We'll see.
He still has plenty on his pitches.
And it's ball 4 to Edmonds. So a double and a walk to Edmonds. And now Nefi Perez trots out to the mound to visit with Zambrano. Let's go pitch by pitch. This feature brought to you by your Mid-America Chevrolet dealers.
Came in with a fastball down around the knees. Then he got the split finger pitch. The fastball, I think that was 97. Then he comes back here, life to it, and then that's a walk. He had that little tailing action, but didn't get the call. So it's predominantly fastballs going right after Edmonds.
It's like the life of the stadium. It's just been let out when Dusty Baker and the medical staff was trotting out to the pitcher's mound, like, here we go again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, was fans going, oh, what's up now?
Rodriguez, a foul tip. And John is 2 for 2. That one at 94 miles an hour. Runners at first and second. Good opportunity here for the Cardinals. Their best opportunity was David Eckstein back in the third with runners at first and third and only one out.
First 2 times he got base hits to left. First time this pitch, was inside with fastball. 93 miles an hour. 93 up there, throws right by a lot of hitters.
No balls, 2 strikes on Rodriguez.
Will he get cute, give him something to hit, or will he just try to put him away?
They set up outside. Here it comes. Mislocation.
98.
A little giddy up on that pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. There's room in right center field for Rodriguez. Big gap out there.
Kind of playing Corey Patterson, shading the left field side of center. Set up away again.
1-2.
Wasted out there.
Just even when he's catching the baseball back from Barrett, he doesn't seem to have that same zip in his step. There's a 1-2 pitch. Strikes out Rodriguez. Big strikeout there. Now there's 2 outs. And the batter is Grzelcyk. The 5th strikeout for Carlos Zambrano.
Supposed to be inside, and look at that ball way outside. Goes after a pitch out of the strike zone.
Grzelcyk is struck out and grounded out.
.376 average since the All-Star break.
Long look, the pitch. Out to right center field. Patterson on the move, still going, and he makes the catch on the track. One nothing Cubs.
It's Hyundai summer clearance, so save the dates to save like never before on models like the versatile Hyundai Tucson. Lease yours now for just $199 a month. That's just $199 a month for the Hyundai Tucson. Loaded with features inside and out, and winner of Strategic Vision's 2005 Total Quality Award. Quality that lets us offer America's best warranty. So circle the dates for Hyundai's summer clearance, going on now at your local Hyundai dealer. Hurry into Hyundai summer clearance and lease the Hyundai Tucson for just $199 a month.
Think about it. We quick sear cuts of T-bone. Yep. Sirloin, strip. No. Served with onion on top, some lettuce and tomato. Basically what we're grilling here is a steak dinner in convenient burger form.
Cheesecake. It's better through a straw. The strawberry fudge cheesecake sippable Sunday milkshake, like nothing you've ever had before. At least not through a straw.
Steak and Shake. Looks like the Chrysler Group has done it again. They have their most award-winning and freshest lineup ever. They have 12 vehicles with 5-star frontal crash test ratings. And their vehicles are projected to retain their value better than GM or Ford. You know what's missing?
A great deal.
It's Employee Pricing Plus, our employee discount plus cash allowance on Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge.
It's like you always used to say, Grandpa. If you can find a better car, buy it.
That's my girl.
Check this out. Burger King's Tender Crisp Chicken Sandwich has more fat than their Whopper, more fat than their large fries, more fat than almost anything else they sell.
That's why I like Subway restaurants. Their sandwiches are made fresh right in front of you. Like this tasty oven-roasted chicken breast sub with 5 grams of fat. Subway, eat fresh.
This portion of Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack invites you to come in and experience ciabatta. It's all about the bread. By your local Chrysler Jeep dealers. And by U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular, we connect with you. Here's Derek Lee, a key double play. Got Marquis out of the last inning. And left Derek Lee to lead off this inning. He is hit into a double play. The Cardinals have turned 2 on the afternoon. And he also struck out back in the first. Part of the order here for Chicago. Lee, Ramirez, and Burnitz. 2 balls, no strikes. We were saying before, I don't know if you could hand over the MVP to Derek Lee if the season would end today because of where the Cubs are in the standings. If you go by what took place in '98. As Lee rips it fair. Down by that Cubs bullpen. Leadoff double for Derek Lee.
By Nunez, he makes a dive, ball hit hard, and good thing that he did get that double play and he didn't come up with the bases loaded. He was having a terrific season.
And it brings in Ramirez. He's 0 for 2. He's popped out to short, fly to right. 0 for 2 today. He quietly has put together a tremendous year that's been overshadowed by the success of Derek Lee.
300 average. He'll end up 30 to 40 home runs, 100 plus RBIs.
Remember some people saying that Ramirez could be a guy that's on the move, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, the Cubs haven't had a third baseman every day like this for decades.
Since Sano, really.
Tony La Russa was screaming from the Cardinals dugout, unhappy with that last call. Marquis falls behind 2-0.
All three of them have been inside, and that's what Jason Marquis right there now trying to ask the home plate umpires, well, where are they? Did it in a professional manner, saying inside. And second generation umpire, the Wendelstedts.
3-1. Marquis is thinking, wait a minute, that's the same pitch a couple times in this at bat that's been called a ball. Runners in scoring position. Ramirez hitting .278. Outfield is deep. They shade him a bit to pull. Long look by Marquis, finally set, and steps off. They're packed at Wrigley Field. They're packed on the rooftops across the streets. It's turned out to be a very pleasant day. There's some rain in the forecast, but it looks like it's going to stay away this afternoon.
There's your friends.
And it's a walk to Ramirez. Tuesday, August 16th, and again Tuesday, August 23rd at Orlando Gardens and the Holiday Inn. It's the 24th annual Budweiser Poker Classic. Raise funds for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Opening rounds will be at 7 o'clock, and that's always a fun event and raises thousands of dollars.
Grey Eagle and Jerry Clinton started that many years ago, and they've had a lot of fun finding the best poker player in St. Louis.
Runners at first and second. Burnitz takes ball one. Twice Burnitz has grounded to Albert Pujols, with Marquis covering at first. The Cardinals have to be heads up. Burnitz was at least showing bunt. You don't see that very often from the number 5 man in the order with nobody out and runners at first and second. So he bunts that one foul. You've got Nunez charging in from third base, and Pujols is staying near the bag at first.
Boa, back up and throwing again, so they may be
an indication he's done then.
Yeah, you would. The way they do it today is usually you get that guy up in this situation, he's coming in the next inning. The Spire warning Derek Lee out there about the move, spinning, pitcher spinning and throwing back to second.
Burnitz swinging away and hits it high in the air to the opposite field. It will stay in the ballpark. Rodriguez there. Lee tagging up from second to third. A strong throw in, but both runners tag up. So the throw goes to possibly, Al, you can make the case, to the wrong bag.
Yep. Because now the double play is not in order. And the way Michael Barrett's swinging the bat, you might want to put him on to create that double play situation.
Barrett is 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles.
Backing up here, get his momentum coming forward, but a high trajectory. Not happy.
Not happy with Rodriguez.
Right. Throw the ball back in. Derek Lee, is a guy that can steal 20 bases for you.
Yeah.
But keep the first base, keep that runner from going to second. You got to double play.
Infield is in.
Now you're drawing the infield in. You got a guy that's swinging a real hot bat. He's 7 for 14 against Marquis in his career, 2 for 2 today.
Like you said before, the Cardinals have turned 2 double plays. He can get you that ground ball with his good sinker. Now there's hitting lanes all over the place with the infield in. 0-2 the count. Marquis would love a strikeout. He's only struck out 2 on the afternoon.
Well, if he's got him in a position where you can get the strikeout, until you get the 2 strikes, look for a pop up, something hit right at one of your fielders. But now that he's got 2 strikes on him, put him away. Sometimes where Marquis gets in trouble trying to make the perfect pitches, and he negates the advantage he has in an 0-2 count.
Another curveball that really didn't move.
I mean, it just a fraction of an inch. I mean, it just kind of rolls up there. And that's what we talk about. It many times it gives a hitter a chance to beat him. Barrett, just a defensive swing, got a little piece of it to stay alive.
Oh-2 pitch, up and in. 1-2. Barrett has doubled down the right field line. Next time up, the opposite way, left field line. There's a 1-2 pitch. Ground ball. They've got to play at the plate. Nunez to Mahoney. The tag is there and applied to Derek Lee. Well, the Cardinals saw that turned against them. They returned the favor here.
No, it's not as easy as you think. As you look at Derek Lee coming down, he's a big guy, so Nunez is going to kind of throw the ball around him.
You see where Lee was running to? He knew it. He was running towards the grass.
And you saw what Mahoney did. He steps to the infield side, so there wasn't, that's where Nunez is. He's inside, so the catcher goes inside, so there really is no block. He's coming down here. He's standing in here, so he'll step in to the grass area a little bit, so he doesn't throw it right into the runner, and you can see the ball all the way.
This is if you're Jason Marquis, you've got to step up and put the Cubs away in this inning, because you can get to their bullpen. The Cardinals have done that repeatedly against teams in the National League all season long. Runners at first and third, and the first pitch to Perez is a ball. Neppe is 1 for 2 with the RBI single back in the second inning.
And that came after 2 outs. Barrett got the double, then Perez got the single with 2 outs. So really bear down and get the third.
Cardinals will have the bottom portion of their order coming up. That catches the outside corner. Corey Patterson on deck. Inning started with a double by Lee, walk to Ramirez, a fly out deep by Burnitz. Runners would tag, and then Barrett grounds out to Nunez, who comes to the plate. Now, where is that pitch?
Well, it's the same pitch the pitch before. One was a strike, one was a ball. Look at it, looked like it probably was a ball. He's got that movement on it, tailing away. Almost rung him up there, but you can see Dave Duncan. If they could see the height, they can't see really the location.
And here's Mahoney now having a conversation, mask off with Wendelstedt. Oh yeah, he was ready to call the strike. You see his body language.
Right. Catcher can kind of have that mini discussion with an umpire, and usually you do it looking forward, but they're discussing things, trying to lobby for your pitcher.
Count now at 3-1, well outside. And the bases are loaded for Chicago. Mahoney calls time.
Third walk of the game, second this inning. Dave Duncan now will come out here as Wendelstedt makes a slow walk. Now he retreats.
Here comes Pujols to talk with the umpire. So your first baseman is going to get in the act. I'm sure Dave is going to wait for that old home plate umpire to make his way out there and have a word with him.
Point Dave Duncan had earlier, he was in the dugout, was saying, you know, just call it the same for both sides. 100 pitches right now.
This might be it for Marquis. He is due up third for the Cardinals in the 7th.
Even if he'll hit for himself.
Might as well. He's 2 for 2. Patterson a pair of groundouts.
2 out, bases loaded.
And the first pitch is lined to the opposite field. Rodriguez is there. The Cubs strand the bases loaded as Patterson lines out to end the 6th. Cubs on top by a run.
The Cards are back at Busch for their final series of the season with the Diamondbacks. After proving that the depth of their roster can keep the Redbirds on top, the anticipated return of Roland, Walker, and Sanders will only add to the strength that will push them late into October. But Luis Gonzalez and the D-backs are hungry to win the West and ready to put up a fight. Diamondbacks, Cardinals, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on FSN Midwest.
Step into Unique Whips. Get inside the East Coast premier custom car shop.
This car is for show-off purposes only.
That's crazy.
It's not your everyday shop. This place is insane to work for. It's crazy.
Buster Rhymes, Carmelo Anthony.
I style my car from front to back.
Y-Class.
You should hire somebody else to do the dashboard.
I'm a pain in the ass.
A car is just a car until it's unique. Unique Whips. Exclusively on Speed Channel.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
Cubs lead it by a run. We tell you about Ice Mountain Team Poster Day right around the corner. Saturday, August 20th. The Cardinals take on the Giants for the last time during the regular season at Busch. All kids 15 and under with a paid admission receive a poster featuring the 2005 Cardinals. For tickets, call 421-2400 or online at stocardinals.com. New pitcher in, Roberto Novoa. We saw him last time that Chicago was through Busch Stadium. This will be his 30th appearance. He's 3-4 on the year with opponents hitting .248 against him.
This is where the Cardinals do a lot of damage. Knock that starter out before you get to their premier setup man or closer.
You've got to wonder about Carlos Zambrano if he's healthy at this point, because he did not look comfortable. At one point, Dusty Baker had to call time and go out with the medical staff to check on him last inning. So the Cardinals get into this bullpen. Casey Kuhn is today's merchandise winner and the Hyundai Long Drive inning sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run, Casey qualifies for the Hyundai Tucson Drive. That will be held in September. Novoa's first pitch is a ball to Sotoguchi. Struck out back in the 5th and singled off the ivy. Out and left, and it was a good play by Matt Lawton to hold him to a single.
This is Novoa's third stint with the Cubs.
The Cardinals get Zambrano out of there. This one is popped up on the infield. Todd Walker takes it. Taguchi retired.
Recalled on June 25th. He also was on the big league roster April 27th to May 9th and May 28th through June 5th.
Now the Cardinals have no activity in their bullpen, and Scott Siebel is going to be the pinch hitter for Mahoney. And then you've got Marquis on deck. So Marquis, who is at over 100 pitches, looks like he's going to stay in this game. He's had the extra day. We always talk about that he can go deep in games. Remember out in San Diego, he had 132 pitches that night.
Right, and you know you're in a situation too where you're trying to get him that 10th win. He's pitching well, so why not?
Siebel on the first pitch, pulls it foul. Left-hander and a righty up for Chicago in their pen.
Kerry Wood. Will Ullman.
Gary Wood throwing in that bullpen. That's an awful lot of money dedicated to a middle reliever.
So you got something against relievers making money?
Oh, hey, I like you guys.
You know how much money he's making this year?
Good chunk.
12.5.
Closing games out.
Closing games out. Not that middleman.
That's right. Tony La Russa will tell you that in his mind the most important guy is that closer.
Dave Duncan, you know, they've had that kind of a philosophical difference where Tony likes the closer. Dave Duncan says it's 5 starters. You got to have both.
It's lined out to right, well hit, but 2 Burnett's. Didn't get a chance to see Isringhausen in game 1 as the Cardinals lost 11-4 yesterday. We did see Brad Thompson. He's probably unavailable today. And Cal Eldred went a couple of innings.
One of the things I asked Maddux about, I said, you remember Brad Thompson? He kind of looked at me like, why? And I said, well, he went to your camp. He goes, he went to that camp?
Is that right?
I think he got a kick out of that. So that thing I have in Vegas?
Grew up idolizing Greg Maddux.
Not a bad one to idolize.
2 outs, nobody on for the Cardinals here in the 7th. And Marquis takes the ball as that one bounces towards the plate. Novoa snaps at the baseball, delivered back by his catcher Michael Barrett.
Overthrow the breaking ball.
Strike 2 on Marquis. Jason today with a double and a single, 2 for 2. The Cardinals own 6 hits. They've left 6 on, and Marquis hits it off the end of the bat. Cardinals with 2 more games on this road trip. Off day on Monday, the only off day we've got in August. And back home to start a homestand on Tuesday night. Marquis hits it, just foul.
Devoe is 3 days away from turning 26. From Santo Domingo, came to the Cubs, part of a 4-player deal with Detroit.
Again pulled foul by Marquis. The ball boy will race out of that Cardinals bullpen and retrieve the baseball. Huffing and puffing after chasing down 2 of them. 1-2 the count. Eckstein on deck. Marquis again grounds it right side, taken there by Lee. And here at Wrigley Field we have played 6.5. It's time to stretch. With the Cubs on top by a run.
Just a reminder. Not all of our national treasures are found in a museum. Easy drinking Busch Light. Busch. Head for the mountains of Busch.
Chevy's proud to have the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them with the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Get an 05 Silverado half-ton crew cab LS two-wheel drive with an MSRP of $30,670 for a Chevy employee discount price of $23,629 after cash back. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or visit midamericachevy.com.
Ah, the buffalo. For hundreds of years, they've roamed this great country. But did they ever have to pay extra for roaming? I think not. And why should you?
With U.S. Cellular's national plans, there's no roaming or long-distance charges ever.
So go anywhere and call anywhere and be like the buffalo. Roam. Roam free. You can roam already.
U.S. Cellular. We connect with you.
Jim Brown was a football icon in a racially divided America.
That's a black superhero that's still here.
The rise, fall, and resurrection of Jim Brown. Beyond the Glory, Sunday on FSN.
Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. And by Pontiac, brought to you by the first ever Pontiac G6. Go to www.pontiac.com. Cubs half of the seventh. Marquis back to work. Kerry Wood continues to throw in the Chicago bullpen.
Just going to say that. It looks like we'll get a shot at Kerry Wood.
And Einar Diaz will take over behind the plate. The emergency catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals,
John Mabry.
Our buddy John Mabry.
John Mabry's going to say, Mr. Diaz, don't get hurt.
Jose Macias will be the pinch hitter for Chicago as we start play here in the seventh. Bottom half that comes on top. Only RBI by Perez. That was back in the second inning. The Cardinals have stranded 6 runners this afternoon. And at one point, their best opportunity against Carlos Zambrano was back in the third. They had runners at first and third. David Eckstein at the plate. He grounded to third. And Mahoney was caught in a rundown trying to score.
Macias 2 for 5 off of Marquis.
He started the ball game yesterday. That's going to help out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Scoreless frame for Novoa after 6 innings by Carlos Zambrano. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. 1 down, back to the top of the order. Here's Matt Lawton. And he looks at a strike. Rain has stayed away. We've had a nice ball game this far. It's 2 strikes on Lawton. Dan Hampton, who was part of the World Championship team of the Chicago Bears back in 1985. Number 99 from Arkansas. I wonder if he grew up as a Cardinal fan. He's saying, take me out to the ball game. He's also in Pro Football's Hall of Fame. That one is hit foul out of play behind home plate, right beneath us. I was saying yesterday, since I've been coming to Wrigley Field over the last 8 or 9 seasons, this has been the hardest ticket to get because of the fact that this is the first time we have been in Chicago in over a year.
There was a period of time last year where the Cubs would not even allow any. Yeah, I got 3 tickets for you. They wouldn't allow anybody from the Cardinals to even purchase, employees to purchase tickets.
The Cardinals back home are on pace to draw 3.5 million, just over 3.5, which would set the all-time record. Opposite field, Rodriguez on the move. Near that side wall, that's in fair territory, and he makes the catch. 2 down. Let's see if Marquis can have an efficient 7th. Cardinals will have the top of the order coming up in their half of the 8th.
First inning was a 1-2-3. And he hasn't had one since, but he's on the verge of doing that right now.
Again tomorrow, it's on Big Fox. It's Fox Saturday Baseball. Chris Carpenter and Jerome Williams. Carpenter 16-4. Then Sunday night, the nationally televised ESPN game will be Matt Morris and Mark Pryor. Walker on the first pitch, swinging. Onto the roof, and he clears some birds out up there.
And it just fell down. Where's your offense today? Marquis looking for it too. He's trying to help his own cause with a couple hits in this game. Cardinals have 6 hits, Cubbies 7. 1 run scored back in the second.
1-1 pitch is a base hit with 2 outs by Walker. That's how the Cubs got their lone run today back in the second. After Marquis had gotten Aramis, Ramirez, and Burnitz. It was a double by Barrett and a single by Perez. Cardinal fans get in-game alerts, scores, breaking news, and more on your mobile phone for just $3.99 a month. You can text the word cards to 65246 or MLBGO, and charges will appear on your mobile phone bill. 2-out hit for Walker. Here's Derek Lee. Lee has doubled. He's hit into a double play and he is struck out. Former Florida Marlin, traded away after their World Championship team back in 03.
Aesop Choi, sort of a lopsided deal. He's now with the Dodgers.
Marquis from the stretch. 2-0. Consistently, Marquis has not been getting that pitch on the inside corner to right-handed batters called for a strike. Very well could be your MVP in 2005. Derek Lee of the Cubs. But their team has got to win some more games, or at least get into contention to have a shot, I would think. 3-0. Ramirez on deck. Randy Flores quickly getting loose in the Cardinal bullpen.
It would be for Burnitz, but not going to pinch hit for Ramirez on deck.
Swinging away, and he drills it into deep left field, and it's off the top of the wall. Rodriguez over to get it. Here comes a runner being waved home, and it's 2-0 Chicago. Walker scores on the RBI double by Lee, and they turned him loose, and he made him pay.
They keep on trying to work in on Derek Lee, and that ball just sat on the inner half from the strike zone, and he just turned on it. First hit of the day, second hit, back-to-back doubles after being 0 for 2, and he doubled the Cubs lead 2-0.
89th RBI for Derek Lee. 2-0 Chicago. And now it's Ramirez's turn. Like you said, Flores getting loose for the man on deck for Nitz, as Kerry Wood is throwing still in the Chicago bullpen. Ramirez delivers with a base hit. They're going to test Rodriguez. Lee to the plate. The throw to the plate. Offline. They'll go down to second. And he's out there. Aramis Ramirez drives in his 84th RBI. These fans love it. 3-0 Chicago.
Don't tell me we don't have time to do a fancy lunch. Because now there's McDonald's all-new premium chicken sandwiches. Juicy chicken breasts in my kind of flavors, like the Ranch BLT and the Club. Yep, they're totally 5-star all the way.
Hi, this is Dan McLaughlin. If you have foundation problems like this, or wet basement or crawl space problems, then take the time to call Woods Basement Systems and learn how Woods solves foundation, wet basement, and crawl space problems. Before you choose a company, make sure you get all the facts. I know the folks over at Woods. They help me and my family, and they can help you too with your basement problems. Call for a free estimate at 800-388-9326. Make sure you call Woods.
Looks like the Chrysler Group has done it again. They have their most award-winning and freshest lineup ever. They have 12 vehicles with 5-star frontal crash test ratings. And their vehicles are projected to retain their value better than GM or Ford. You know what's missing?
A great deal?
It's Employee Pricing Plus, our employee discount plus cash allowance on Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge.
It's like you always used to say, Grandpa. If you can find a better car, buy it.
That's my girl.
You're watching FSN Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
Cardinal Baseball, a production of Bud Sports and an exclusive presentation of FSN Midwest. Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez deliver for Chicago, as all their RBIs have been plated with 2 outs today. They lead it 3-0. The Cardinals have the top of the order coming up, and what a weapon now for Dusty out of his bullpen. He can't use him as a starter. Relegated to being a reliever and a setup man, and now it's Kerry Wood, and he's been perfect out of the bullpen. This will be his 4th appearance out of the pen and his 14th appearance overall. 10 starts prior to these stints out of the bullpen.
2 times on the disabled list.
His fans are into it now too, with Wood on the mound.
98 miles an hour first pitch. This is the first time he's pitched with a lead. The other 3 were kind of mop-ups.
And he works from the stretch. That one at 96 miles an hour. Kerry Wood, a 28-year-old, 6'5", 225-pounder. 7th season in the big leagues as he came up back in 1998. And the hopes of this franchise rested on his shoulder. Could it stay healthy? And they picked up Pryor, Zambrano, signed Greg Maddux, and on paper was the best rotation in the National League. On paper.
On paper. But had trouble staying healthy.
Eckstein into right field. Burnitz. Cardinals today just 6 hits. You've seen Zambrano for 6, Novoa for an inning, and now Kerry Wood.
Might even revise that and say the Cardinal position players have 4 hits.
Yeah. Marquis
got 2 of them.
Now it's Nunez. First pitch, fastball, and a strike. He was the Rookie of the Year back in 1998 as he busted on the scene. 20 strikeout performance against the Astros, and many people feel mechanically he is always going to have problems until he changes. And he always threw that great slider and put a lot of torque on his elbow. And he missed the entire 1999 season.
Tommy John surgery, but you know what? There's just not one set of mechanics for every body. You can't tell me when he's throwing 98 miles an hour that this may be his most efficient way to pitch.
2-2 the count. Nunez is 0 for 3 today. Make it 0 for 4 as he strikes out. Ball gets away. Down to first it goes. Here's your Hardy's hot pitch of the game.
The last one. A slider right there. Swings over the top of it. Gets away from Barrett, but he throws him out. This is a good matchup. Power against power.
couple years ago, the 4th of July. Kerry Wood knocked him down. Next pitch, Pujols hit it into the shrubbery out there in center. He's up there hacking away on that first pitch as Wood tried to blister one in there.
See how that ball explodes and rides up. Just about every time I've seen somebody throw one or try to knock Pujols down, it usually ends up with a home run the next pitch.
That one bounces in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flores will be coming out of the Cardinals bullpen here to face Burnitz in the bottom half of the 8th. Pujols with a 2-run home run yesterday. He's got 32 on the year and 91 RBIs. And he smokes that one into center field for the Cardinals' 7th hit this afternoon.
Another multi-hit game for Albert.
A double and a single. And now it's Edmonds.
There's still hope. Those last 2 runs really changed the complexion. It's Albert with that level swing, just power against power, just making contact, taking the ball up the middle.
Now some believe that Kerry Wood is best suited for the bullpen as a closer for the rest of his career. And the reason why is, like we were talking about before, he gets to that 60 pitch mark as Edmonds swings and misses. And it's a point in which he hits a wall, and that's when his injuries occur. Whereas if he could pitch and you could rely on him and count on him to where he could go 3 out of 4 days, then you'd have yourself a pretty darn good closer, but you just don't know.
That's the question, is could he pitch back-to-back days? Could he go 3 in a row, 4 out of 7? Those type of things. Will his arm withstand that strength? If he can, that's where he should be.
1-1 pitch to Edmonds. 1-2. Now listen to this crowd with 2 strikes on Edmonds.
They're loving it. They're on their feet. Will he trick him? Yep, he's going to try and trick him.
Two and 2. Edmonds with 21 home runs on the year.
Jimmy just might catch up to one.
Both Cub fans and Cardinal fans standing. Count of 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down. Pujols a runner at first. And St. Louis trailing by 3 runs here in the 8th.
Come throwing the slider. Kerry stepped off. You wonder if he wants to change that. It'd be like 3 in a row. Fastball in. Good rip.
Sure was.
I throw the fastball in, and I think Jim was pretty much looking for it. It just kind of drifts out over the plate, but good velocity. Right there. Oh, my goodness. Ho, ho, ho.
I think Edmonds would have been fine if he was punched out on that one.
Well, it's Dusty's time to vent. I mean, that just looked like it was right down the middle.
So here we go. Pujols off with the pitch and the 3-2.
Guess what?
The tying run comes to the plate in the form of John Rodriguez. Second time that Edmonds has been on base. 2 more walks today, and he's in the top 10 in the National League in the base on balls department.
We get Dempster up now, their closer. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, comes out to talk to Kerry. Now these short bursts coming out for 1 inning and keep your emotions in check and trying not to overthrow things, but
it allows their closer to get up and start throwing.
We've seen a lot of these types of games here at Wrigley Field, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
That you never know what's going to happen. Rodriguez's first entry into this rivalry? Will he become a hero or a villain?
His last home run at San Diego.
Breaking ball.
Wood has got the great fastball, but we've seen Rodriguez can catch up with very good fastballs. That's not a problem. 0-1 pitch.
Breaking ball again.
That's where he struggles.
Well, he throws so hard that you go up there thinking you're going to get a fastball, and you haven't really seen it. So you're just kind of over anxious. They're on their feet again.
Chevy's proud to have the best-selling full-size SUVs 5 years in a row. Like Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them. The Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Now get an 05 Suburban LS two-wheel drive with an MSRP of $39,615 for a Chevy employee discount price of $30,682 after cash back.
See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or visit midamericachevy.com.
Why should you go to Auto Tires?
Because of our people. Our managers have been with us for a long time. Many of our customers have worked with the same team for years. It's important to know the people you trust your car to.
Or the people you know and trust.
You ought to go to Auto Tire.
It's the World Darts Championships.
The world's finest darts players are here.
Where the most skilled players aim for the title of the greatest in the world.
Sweet, sweet dart!
It's the biggest event in one show.
Bullseye beckons. Title! It's showing!
See who's the master of the bullseye.
For the match! Bullseye one side!
World Darts Championships. Monday on FSN.
Meet Bob. Bob went to Arizona. His friend went to Nebraska. And their other friend, Florida State. Now they all live together in L.A. So how do they follow their favorite college teams? With Fox College Sports, featuring over 800 NCAA games each year on 3 regionally aligned channels. FCS Pacific, FCS Central, and FCS Atlantic. All the games that matter in one powerful package. To order Fox College Sports, call 1-877-2-GET-FCS. Fox College Sports, where college never ends.
Game recap brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of Major League Baseball. The Cardinals with opportunities this afternoon. Not many. The one they did have, they ran into an out at the plate. Derek Lee on a 3-0 pitch with 2 outs was turned loose. And he made the Cardinals pay as that made it 2-0. He was then driven in by Aramis Ramirez. That made it 3-0. And that's where we stand right now here in the bottom half of the 8th. Randy Flores is the new pitcher for St. Louis, and Burnitz drills this one into right field. That will be caught, though, by Sotoguchi. 1 pitch, 1 out. And Burnitz is 0 for 4. The numbers on Flores, this will be his 36th appearance. He's had a nice road trip, too, Al.
Yes, he has. He's held left-handed batters to a 155 average. That'll go down with one more. Only 9 hits and 59 at-bats. Did a real nice job going through the heart of the Milwaukee batting order in one game. Pitched 3 games this week, I believe.
And here is Barrett. 2 doubles on the afternoon and a run scored. Good late break on that breaking ball. And it's strike 1. Barrett 2 for 3 on base 6 times in this series. And it's 4-0 Chicago.
Barrett's found a home.
His 13th home run. 3 hits on the afternoon.
th home run, 49 RBIs, got a breaking ball, and wasn't fooled. Randy knew it as soon as he let go and saw contact, and it hit hard. Would it get up? And it did.
Switch hitting, Nepi Perez. Cubs now with a 4-run lead. Randy Flores twice pitched against Milwaukee this past week. You mentioned went through the heart of the order in one game and had 2 strikeouts, then pitched 2/3 of a inning in another game, but no damage done. This one lifted out to left field. That's going to drop for a hit. Perez is on.
Cubbies had 16 hits in yesterday's victory, and they have 12 in this one. So starting to get their hitting shoes just in the middle of the plate.
Brings in Patterson. Patterson last time up had the bases loaded, and it was a 1-0 game at that point and lined out to left. And here comes Dave Duncan as the Cardinals are going to get Tavares up and loose. Dempster throwing in the Cubs bullpen. Cardinals will have Gritzelanek, Taguchi, and Diaz due up.
Sure, Dave Duncan was hoping that he would not have to have any of the right-handers get up. Just have Randy have an uneventful inning. You just never know what type of games you're going to have in this ballpark, so you always want to have a well-rested relief corps.
Nunez on the grass at third. They'll hold it first.
Middle relievers at double play depth, but Cardinals aren't sure what Patterson's going to do. Step off there and just try to see if he gives away bunt.
The 0-1. A broken bat. As the very end of it shattered. No balls, 2 strikes on Patterson. Flores against these left-handers has a very good breaking ball. Omar Garcia-Parra has moved to the on-deck circle, so this very well could be it for Flores. Retire Patterson. If he can't get a double play, then he would see Tavares come in and face Garcia-Parra.
Almost threw that ball away.
Runner is going on the 0-2, a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Patterson and a stolen base for Perez. So 2 down, and Nomar will be the pinch hitter.
Steal right there. Diaz tags out Patterson for 2 outs, and they're asking if Tavares is ready. And he says so Tony will make the pitching change.
So the Cardinals setup man Julian Tavares will walk in from the bullpen here at Wrigley. Flores gives up the home run to make it 4-0 Chicago with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 8th.
Chevy's proud to have the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them with the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Get an 05 Silverado half-ton crew cab LS 2-wheel drive with an MSRP of $30,670 for a Chevy employee discount price of $23,629 after cash back.
See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or visit midamericachevy.com.
Dobbs is the best place in town for tires.
Or auto service.
Best selection and best brands of tires.
Or best trained technicians for oil changes, engine maintenance, brakes.
Best for tires.
Or auto service.
Better yet, best for quality tires.
And expert auto service.
Dobbs, best for tires and or auto service. Celebrate our 29th anniversary. Get into Dobbs because all tires are all on sale. And while you're buying new tires, enter to win a 2005 Ford Mustang. Anniversary savings now at Dobbs.
Get the bottom line during Nissan's model year-end clearance. The bottom line on Nissan Xterra, Murano, Armada. Plus a $339 a month lease for 42 months on the 7-passenger Nissan Pathfinder. See your Nissan dealer now. Clearance time happens once a year, and that's the bottom line.
Numbers on Tavares as he'll try to get Nomar Garciaparra the final out in the Cubs half of the 8th. Chicago on top with a lead of 4-0. Talked about it before that for Dusty Baker it's tough to figure out the right times when to play Garciaparra. So many times they've got night games followed by day games, and with that groin injury that he suffered in St. Louis, they have to be very, very careful with that.
He had that injury. Pulled the muscle right off the bone. Thought he was through for the year.
First pitch to Nomar, swing and a miss. Of course, Garciaparra won a batting title while in the American League with the Red Sox.
4 for 10 career pinch innings. And he was a guy that played every day.
Hit .372 back in 2000. And he's hit with the pitch.
Right in the small of the back. That ball just took off and run. My groin hurts. My back hurts. Dusty, pinch run for me.
Tony's going to take him out. They've got the left-handed hitting Matt Lawton, and they've had Ray King getting loose in the bullpen. King will come in. Another pitching change for the Cardinals and Tony La Russa.
It's Hyundai summer clearance. Save the dates to save big on models like the popular Hyundai Elantra, which you can now own for only $169 a month. That's just $169 a month for the Hyundai Elantra. Winner of Strategic Vision's Total Value Award, with award-winning quality backed by America's best warranty. So circle the dates for Hyundai summer clearance, going on now at your local Hyundai dealer. During Hyundai summer clearance, you can own the Hyundai Elantra for just $169 a month.
If you're looking for answers from an auto parts store, get ready. Advance Auto Parts is working harder to help you save money by doing it yourself. Get ready for certified experts who are ready to help. Get ready for answers on any project you can easily understand. Get ready for in-depth information from Advance TV, our exclusive in-store how-to network. Get ready to go from no way to know-how. For all the advice you'll ever need, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts.
We're ready in advance.
Nice ride.
Thank you, Mocha Coca. Chrysler and Jeep came up on Buku Awards. And Dodge trucks last as long as the Deagle Double Chisel. Plus, I got the hookup, nephew, for sure.
You know, I'm not too sure of what you just said. Now everybody gets a great deal.
For shizzle, Ika Zizzle.
It's Employee Pricing Plus, our employee discount plus cash allowance on Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge.
If the ride is more fly, then you must buy.
That's what I hear.
Cardinals are still trying to get this final out in the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-0, and here's King.
Ray King picked up his 14th hole on Wednesday night, where he came in to face a left-hander, struck him out, and looked like the old Ray King. So hopefully he can build off of that one. A little tough stretch for him of late, and that's all you need is one good outing.
Facing Lawton here, one pitch. It'll be handled by Pujols, and we head to the 9th. Cubs strand their 8th and 9th runners of the day, but they add to their lead. A home run by Barrett, who's had a big afternoon and a big series against St. Louis. 9th inning for Zip Chicago.
After waking up at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, what is it that makes a man get up at 4 on Saturday? Must be something in the water. Busch Beer, official beer of Bass.
Honda Accord wasn't designed to start you like this.
I know a girl with a golden touch.
The Toyota Camry wasn't designed with a view like this.
She's got enough, she's got too much.
The Nissan Altima 2.5 wasn't designed with this much power. The first ever Pontiac G6 was.
But you could have it all if you wanted it.
And now, in its first year, it's the proud winner of Strategic Vision's Total Quality Award. Pontiac, designed for action.
The Cards are back at Busch for their final series of the season with the Diamondbacks. After proving that the depth of their roster can keep the Redbirds on top, the anticipated return of Rowland, Walker, and Sanders will only add to the strength that will push them late into October. But Luis Gonzalez and the D-backs are hungry to win the West and ready to put up a fight. Diamondbacks, Cardinals, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on FSN Midwest.
Ryan Dempster will take over for Chicago. This will be his 40th appearance, an ERA that is over 4. And he's 15 of 17 in the saves department this season for Chicago.
Henry envisioned that he would be his stopper when they failed to get Percival or anybody else that they thought was worthy. But Dusty Baker wanted Dempster in his rotation, and he wanted Hawkins to be the closer.
Troy Hawkins was the poster child for everything that was going wrong at the time when he was traded. The team was struggling, guys were injured, they weren't winning, and every time he stepped onto the field, he was booed.
Well, how about, well, he didn't help his own cause, saying he wouldn't talk to the media and do different things this way, but how about when he came back with the Giants and he was booed every time, and you would thought that time they would have applauded him, because I think every time he pitched as a Giant, he gave the lead up.
He's from this area. He was excited about being part of the Chicago Cubs and this franchise.
He was a very good setup man before coming here, and that's his natural role. But you would have thought with the success he's had, he would have been able to make that conversion to the 9th inning. But just didn't work for him.
Redzalonic with a count of 2 balls and no strikes. 2-1. Chad Fox, they thought they might be able to close out games. He got hurt. Ryan Dempster is 28. 6'2", 215-pounder. Been with Florida, Cincinnati, and now Chicago. Originally selected by Texas back in 1995. He's from Gibson's, British Columbia, north of the border. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes on Grzelcyk.
Slider.
That'll bring in Sho Taguchi with 1 out. Let's check in with Brent Stover.
Stick around right after the game for a post-game edition of Midwest Sports Tonight. And don't forget, tonight at 10, we wrap up the day in sports on the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report. That and more today on FSN Midwest. Now back to Dan and Al. Gentlemen.
Taguchi today with a base hit, 1 for 3. It's this one pretty high in the air out to center. Spacious center field here at Wrigley. Two outs. We take you back to the 7th. Derek Lee on a 3-0 pitch. They gave him the green light, and he smoked it off the wall and left. That drove in a run. He was then driven in. That made it 3-0. The Cubs would add another on the home run by Barrett to make it 4-0, and that's your Bud Light play of the game. And it's up to Einar Diaz as the Cubs are on the verge of taking the first 2 in this series. If they win, they'll be 17 games back to St. Louis.
Not critical losses, but the fans would get a kick out of it one way or the other. And you still can salvage this series with the final 2 games end up in a tie.
Diaz lines it over Ramirez down the third base line. And he is thinking too, a wide turn. This could be close. And he's in there.
Hollinsworth out there and left.
2-out double by Diaz. And that extends it to Schumacher.
Diaz just hustling out there over the head of the third baseman. Dave LaPointe had one of the greatest lines about the grass here at Wrigley Field. So they used to cut it with a helicopter. It used to be very slow. Schumacher will get a chance to pick up his first major league hit. He's 0 for 5.
A brief scout report on Schumacher from the Cubs pitching coach. Cubs and out away with 2 down here in the top of the 9th. They lead it 4-0. Jumped out on top back in the 2nd. Added 2 more in the 7th, another one in the 8th.
What are you going to tell him? Just go right after him.
Line over the Cubs dugout. Skimmed over the top of that fan's head and took his hair out. Schumacher out to right. Burnett slips. And it's going to drop for a hit.
You never know.
Goodness. Oh, my. Schumacher gets the hit, his first of the season.
First major league hit and RBI. But you never know in a game like this, just a little opening like that. Nitz comes in on the ball and slips and never could recover. So just a simple little hit, an RBI, and the Cardinals still have life. Break up the shutout.
And it brings in the top of the order, David Eckstein.
Keep it, get it to Albert. Two for 4 off of Dempster.
Here comes an 0-1 pitch. When that thing dropped, it was like everybody was saying, here we go again.
Well, you know, I mean, the other day, Kansas City had a 5-run lead in the 9th. They missed a pop-up and then a fly ball. And there's Schumacher.
On his way to second base.
Fielder's indifference, but
now there's 2 strikes on Eckstein. It's 1-2.
They end up
down to their final strike and out.
And Cleveland went on to score 11 runs, but it all started with 2 missed plays in the outfield.
Dempster set. Here comes a 1-2. David pops it up near the Cardinal dugout. That's going to find the seats. Tony La Russa And back in the 7th, Al, Tony La Russa elected to keep Marquis in after the double by Derek Lee and pitched to Ramirez. And you can question that because you did have first base open at that time. And Ramirez swinging a hot bat for Nitz, really struggling at this point. That cost the Cardinals. Flores came in, allowed a home run to Michael Barrett. And the Cardinals are now down 4-1 with a count of 1-2 on Eckstein. 2-2. So there's some things in this game, if you break it down, that you could see.
Yeah, but Tony, the other day when he was asked about letting Ben Sheets hit for himself, said I would have done the same thing. Bunch of twos out there. See if the Cardinals can get their second run.
Eckstein picks up a base hit, and now the tying run.
Well, Kindo
will come to the plate.
He held Schumacher at third base because there's no need to take any chances of slipping. That run doesn't mean anything. Cardinals still have life. David gets his base hit over shortstop. Nunez, and he extended till you get to Albert Pujols, who's on deck.
Nunez's last home run was against Mark Pryor and the Chicago Cubs. Runners at first and third. Little chopper. This is going to be tough. A throw to first, and they got him. And the Cubs hang on and win it. And they've taken the first two in this series. Cubs win it 4-1 on a 12-hit attack. Back with more from Wrigley on FSN in just a moment.